Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming. Hopefully, my fan isn't too audible. I'm not entirely sure how much of that comes across on the mic, but it is a bazillion degrees here, and I am sweating my ass off because I don't have air conditioning. So, I am hopefully going to be able to turn it down maybe later in the evening when it starts to cool down a little bit, but for the moment, that's just gotta be how it is. So I hope that you guys have all been keeping relatively cool, given the circumstances. I know it's been a pretty brutal week so far all around, and it's only going to continue. At least here it is until like the weekend. I think it's supposed to start cooling down a bit. We're supposed to get some rain, and then it'll hopefully get a little bit cooler. But yeah, make sure you guys are staying hydrated. Actually, that reminds me, I need my water. I put it in the fridge earlier and completely forgot about it. So give me just 30 seconds here while I go and grab that. Need to follow my own advice. Gotta get some water in me. Alright, that's better. Okay. Yeah, so tonight we are going to be playing Mushroom Musume, which is a game that Arctic Android recommended to me. It just came out last week. It looks like a lot of fun. Basically, we are I think we're like a woman who, for whatever reason, was unable to have their own child. So we went to this very kindly Witch of the Forest, who granted us a daughter who happens to be a mushroom. And throughout our decisions through the game, that will determine what kind of mushroom she becomes and what kind of person she grows up to be. So we're gonna jump right in here because I'm very curious to see how our little mushroom daughter is going to turn out. Once upon a time, there was a humble recluse. Though they had no need for society, they did often find themselves home to a loneliness that they could never quite shake. In the morning, the sun would rise. At night, it would set. The recluse would observe this splendor, knowing that the sight would be made... Wait, what? Oh, that's weird. I wasn't able to scroll down. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to do that. In the morning the sun would rise, at night it would set. The recluse would observe this splendor, knowing that the sight would be made all the more beautiful by having someone to share it with. It wasn't that they desired a relationship. Perhaps it was a flame that had burned them one too many times, or perhaps they were simply disinterested. So how are we... is this supposed to be... Oh, whoop, nope, that took a screenshot. That wasn't my intention. How am I supposed to... Oh, there we go, okay. This, cursor is, while cute, very unwieldy. Okay. No, a child. That's what they wanted. Someone to take care of, to teach. Unfortunately, it was a longing that could not be found. Not in these woods alone. However, we are never quite as alone as we think, are we? One day, a witch appeared, as if drawn by the intensity of the recluse's desire. The lumber that the recluse had spent the morning gathering slipped through their hands as they spotted her, the witch of the woods. She began to speak. You desire a child, yes? For some, those are quite easy to come by, but not you, it would seem. Let us make a deal then. If you do 3 simple chores for me, I will present you with a daughter of your very own. The recluse, caught up in a moment of naivety, quickly agreed. Okay, so we've got some tasks here, and then we need to meet our daughter. The witch, knowing that the recluse was destined to accept, simply nodded and began to deliver the first of these so-called chores without hesitation. There have been some activities I've been meaning to get to. Perhaps you could make yourself useful and cross one off the list for me. Not realizing that they were simply saving the witch some time, the recluse determined which task they were most suited for. Okay. Let's see. Test a selection of elixirs for quality. Restock a selection of unsettling components. Or organize a surprisingly understated collection of keepsakes. Okay, so I think this is the first decision that will determine the options of mushroom that we may end up with. So I guess this one could potentially give us like a hallucinogenic mushroom. This one's gonna give us like a poison mushroom. This one's gonna give us like a healing mushroom, I guess. So you know what? Let's go for a good mushroom route this time. Let's organize a surprisingly understated collection of keepsakes. Why not see what a witch's most prized personal possessions look like? It's not like they would ever get this chance again, after all. The recluse spent a quiet afternoon carefully unpacking and rearranging her belongings, silently speculating to themselves about the sort of life this witch has led. Arriving back to their meeting point, the recluse was very excited to report their progress to the witch. I was kind of hoping he was going to tell us, like, what kind of, knickknacks they had. Ah, very good. How kind of you. I think I might need to adjust the volume of the game here. Because it's looking kind of loud. Let me know if it's not. That seems more in line. I'll put it at that. Let me know if I need to adjust the volume any. But according to my bars, that looks roughly usual. Alright. Ah, very good. How kind of you. After quickly wiping themselves down, the recluse returned to their hut for the remainder of the night. Okay, task 1 complete. The second day. The recluse slept more soundly that night than they had in ages. Having a purpose again soothed them, even if they had found themselves caught up with a witch. They elected not to think about that, though. Instead, when the morning came, they simply did what they had to do. Which is to say, they got up... frickin' hell. Which is to say, they got up and went to meet with the witch. Upon watching the recluse's approach, a sardonic smile lit the witch's face. You completed your first task admirably. 2 more, and I can finally give you what you want. She paused for only a moment before delivering her next message of import. Growth struggles to be achieved without presence. Offer me that which embodies the emotion you would provide to your daughter. The recluse pondered for a moment, thinking of what they had to offer. Okay, we've got a deteriorating book of poetry, a silver-backed hand mirror, or a tear-stained portrait. Okay, well, we did choose this one for the first one, so let's go all in on like, glowy shroom here. So we're going to give her a silver-backed hand mirror. While it could fetch a decent coin at the village, there was nothing else that the recluse felt could express the love that they'd show for their daughter. Okay, I did increase the size of the text earlier. I think I'm going to shrink it back down again, because then, if that means that I won't have to deal with the, yeah, I think that was the original size. I made it larger just to make it a little easier to read, but if this means that I'm not going to have to worry about dealing with the stupid scroll bar, then, that will be good. Okay, yeah. Because the truest beauty is not what's outside, but what comes from within. Returning to the witch, the recluse held out their offering. My, I suppose all growth comes at a cost, no? Feeling a tender hollowness, the recluse declined to answer. The 3rd day. With 2 assignments complete, the recluse could feel their excitement grow. If this witch was being honest, and for some reason they felt that she was, then that meant that this could be the last night they spent without a child. They hoped so, at least. That was all they could do. Barely remembering to get dressed, the recluse dashed to the meeting spot. Again, the witch had been waiting there for them. Welcome back, recluse. Are you prepared? Today is your big day, is it not? The last task is an easy one, or at least I believe so. Bring me something colorful, something bright that you think will suit her. When they were first told of the 3 tasks, the recluse had imagined things that were much more difficult. This seemed so easy as to be a trick. Which, they supposed, only meant that they should take it seriously, as if a mistake could mean death. With death in mind, the recluse needed to decide where to search for color. Let's see, a field of flowers, or a stony river. Okay, so we can't choose glowy mushroom for this one. But you know what? We're trying to go for a nice, happy daughter this time, so let's go for a field of flowers. If someone wanted color, where else was there to even consider? The recluse decided to make their way to a particularly idyllic field of flowers. The field was filled with an overwhelming amount of choice. Before long, the recluse narrowed the options down to a few. Okay, black pansies, a Stygian omen. Bleeding hearts, sanguine and symbolic drops. Milkweed, the bright orange herald of the butterflies. Forget-me-nots, light-hearted blue flowerets. Or cardinal flowers, a prideful red bloom. Again, we don't have the option of the glowy shroom. So, you know what? Let's go with milkweed, the bright orange herald of the butterflies. A mystical field of flittering life gently yawned into the edges of the setting sun. The recluse nearly forgot what they went there for, drinking in the fresh, honeyed breeze. Oh, it's making me tired. That was the place. We discovered orange, apparently. That is not pleasant to look at. The recluse returned to the witch's hut, colored item in hand. She silently took the object, nodding her head to the recluse in recognition. The recluse stood there for a moment, unsure, before finally the witch realized what they expected. Oh ho ho, you want your promised daughter, don't you? Her voice was almost mocking, but at least it was not overtly cruel. I suppose I must tell you that I lied, human. I do require several more trifling things from you. First is the matter of payment. The recluse should have known that everything is for a cost. Pay me now with wealth, pay me now with life, pay me sometime soon in larger quantities, pay me at a much later date in the way I choose. I think I would rather just pay now. Never put off a payment that you can make immediately. Unless there's a good reason to. They offered their coin purse to the witch, and she took it wordlessly. After pocketing the whole pouch, she returned a single coin to the recluse's hand. This will be sufficient, the witch smiles. With the payment settled, the witch simply smiled and handed the recluse a small pot. Humans are tricky, but mushrooms are much more resilient. Consider this an upgrade. Don't worry, eventually she will develop a mind. Simply give her time, as much as she needs. Soon your wish will be in full bloom. I suppose with all that settled, though, there is one last thing you need for you to consider. A young girl needs a proper name. The recluse thought on the witch's demand before offering the final thing they had to give. What should we name our mushroom daughter? I do have a mushroom character, but she is a toxic mushroom, so we're not going to name our daughter Sporia, because we're looking for a good friendly mushroom. Let me think. You guys got any suggestions? What's a good mushroom name? You know what, let's go with... Phosphor. Then she walked away, only fate knowing if the two should ever meet again. Cultivation. Though the recluse was unsure of the specifics, they did realize that it was important to heed her instructions. Care for the pot and the dirt and everything that lay within. So the recluse geared up, as any parent should, and assessed the things they needed to raise a child. Finances, in case the nearby village had goods or services that you could not provide. Nutrients for the child to help it grow strong. They would need plenty, as it would be depleted on a daily basis. And finally, the recluse's own stamina could not be ignored. One cannot burn the candle from both ends indefinitely. Excuse me. Thus began the longest growing season of the recluse's life. Had something on my monitor there. The day's gotten away from you. Already, the sun's gentle descent is being swallowed behind the forest's reach. Okay. You weren't able to finish everything you set out for today, but you only have time for one more chore. What if we press info? What is this going to give us? Okay, this is our mushroom phosphor. It's an orange mushroom. It's currently potted. The pot of soil sits calmly with a small mushroom contained within. It's got 8 nutrients, 1 finances, and 8 stamina. These are our stats. There's only so many hours in the day, and you only have so much time and energy. Choose how you spend those things carefully. Okay. The nutrients, she needs food, but her food isn't quite the same as yours. Ensure that she never goes hungry. What's quality? You've seen mushrooms before that have a certain special gleam. Your daughter does not yet have this gleam, but she could if you raise her right. Okay, so there's, I guess, special mushrooms that you can get. Finances. You avoid the village where you can, but with a daughter you have new needs. Money allows you to buy things that you couldn't gather yourself. Okay, what's the environment? Your daughter's growth is fickle. To ensure higher quality, you need to grow her in the best conditions. And affection. Achoo! Excuse me. She is your daughter, after all, even if she doesn't always look like much of one. If your daughter is well loved, she'll be able to improve at things more quickly. Okay, interesting. Okay, so those are all the components, I guess. Oh, and here's our basic stats here as well. Alright, you weren't able to finish everything you set out for today, but you only have time for one more chore. Finish a favor the village's leader asked of you. Barter for some fine substrates to better grow your daughter. You've already worked hard enough. Retire to the tavern. Purchase new construction materials for your hut. Okay, well, I assume that all three of those other ones will cost money, which we have very little of. Oh, yes, here it is. Okay, so... oh. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's what we were wanting to choose anyways. Yeah, it highlighted which thing it used at the bottom, so, yeah. Doing favors for the leader is comfortable to you. It allows you flexibility while still giving you some funds. Oh, we got a lot of money for that. Cool. Today is no different than usual. You herd some cats for the leader, and in exchange they pay you. How novel. Your tasks behind you, you and your daughter return home. Each do a nice bath and a simple dinner. Okay, so that's consume nutrients and stamina there. Recently, you've begun to think about your daughter's living quarters, specifically her pot. You have a few ideas how to improve it, but you only have so much time. Which do you decide to move forward with? Okay, infuse the soil with a drop of your own blood. Use your cooking scraps as compost. Ensure that her soil remains ever damp. Buy some fancy substrate from town. Or decorate the pot. We were kind of leaning into this one. With the light stuff. Let's decorate it. Though it's not something that ordinarily concerns you, you have noticed something. The pot that the witch gave you is rather drab. You can't help but think that your daughter, your cute little girl, may like a cuter pot, or at least one that's not beige and boring. Over the next few days, you begin to idly bring every small, pretty thing that you find to the pot. Hey, welcome back, Ray, and congrats on getting first. We are currently raising our mushroom daughter. Over the next few days, you begin to idly bring every small pretty thing that you find to the pot. You decorate it with beautiful pebbles and drawings, hoping that she appreciates the makeover. Does she? Oh, okay, so we've got 6 hearts now, instead of the 3 that we had before. So I think Phosphor is appreciating our efforts. Her quality of life having been improved, life continues. Huh? Something's happening. Gain trait Mushroom Creature. Your daughter has changed in the night. Aww. One morning, you awaken with a weight on your chest and open your eyes to find a heavy mushroom sitting atop you. The creature has grown little arms and legs and demonstrates her newfound mobility by clambering off the bed as you wake. Her demeanor seems cheerful, wandering about in an excitable and inquisitive mood. Encourage her optimism, spend time nurturing her environment, motivate her to be more practical. No, we're gonna be going with the glowy shroom for every opportunity that we have to do so. So we're gonna encourage her optimism. Your daughter's development is going better than expected. and you want to promote her cheerful nature. You encourage her to appreciate beautiful things, bringing her to that flower-filled glade you once visited. Enthralled by the wondrous sights, appreciating nature quickly becomes her favorite pastime, and she spends much of her time wandering outside. The decision being made, life continued. Okay, does that give us... what does that give us? Okay, that didn't give us anything, really. So I guess it maybe just influenced her personality? Oh, nutrients are going down. One evening, you hear a light knocking at your door. Quite a rare occurrence. Peeking through the window, you witness none other than the Witch of the Woods standing on your doorstep of your humble hut. Could she be here for a visit, or to settle a debt? Let's see, introduce her to your daughter. Privately request a stipend. We don't need to request a stipend. We're pretty good on finances right now. Let's introduce her to our daughter. Perhaps it was time for your daughter to meet the witch. She could maybe even learn a thing or two. The two of you answer the door and invite the gloomy woman inside for dry and awkward small talk. Something about the way the two absently stare at each other. You wonder if they've made some sort of connection today. The decision being made, life continued. So what did that do? Oh, that's weird. Why is my fan... Oh, my fan's gotten weaker all of a sudden. What's this? Mystic bond. You've developed some rapport with your creator, the Witch of the Woods. Oh, okay, so that's, the mushroom has developed a bond with the witch. I don't know how I feel about that, but... Oh, fan's back. I guess maybe we're having a power fluctuation. Which isn't surprising, because probably everyone has their AC going. You realize that you've finished all your work for the week and have a whole day free. Spend some time cleaning up, teach your daughter some important lessons, take your daughter on a scenic hike, take your daughter to see the Witch of the Woods. I don't know if I want our daughter to be getting too close to the Witch of the Woods. She is a Witch of the Woods after all, which doesn't necessarily mean she's bad, but she's probably not the most popular individual with the townsfolk. And so we could go scenic hike, important lessons, time cleaning up. This would improve our situation. Oh, time for a stretch? Okay. Thank you, Plum. Let's stretch here real quick. Ugh. Ugh. That's good. Alright, and some water. You all should be hydrating as well. It's been a real hot week. Very good. Alright. Alright, so what should we do with our daughter here? I'm kind of tempted to spend some time cleaning up, or teach our daughter some important lessons. You know what, let's teach our daughter some important lessons. They're gonna need to learn things. You decide it would be a good use of time to spend the day teaching. Your daughter doesn't really like to sit and listen, but you manage to impart some life lessons. The decision being made, life continues. Huh? Something's happening. What's she gonna turn into? Gain trait, child? Your daughter has changed in the night. Let's check her out. Let's check out our child. Oh yeah, because she's not a mushroom creature now. Now she's a child? Despite a rocky introduction, your daughter is as civil as any human child now. Although our affection has gone down a bit. So that's not good. Oh, our quality's going up, though. Your daughter has a special quality about her that you find difficult to describe. She's a fine young girl. You think she will be something extraordinary. Alright, one morning you notice that your daughter is nowhere to be seen. After an hour of searching the nearby area, you find her walking in a nearby meadow. To your surprise, the creature has now taken the form of a young girl. You feel relieved to confirm that the witch hadn't betrayed you. At your approach, she turns and grins at you excitedly, before continuing to appreciate her surroundings. Sit and watch her play, buy her a nice gift, tell her it's time to go home. No, we're not gonna tell her it's time to go home. We're going light, glowy mushroom effect. Like, we could buy her a gift, but I want to sit and watch her play. Your daughter seems content to do her own thing, so you decide to let her play in the meadow as long as she likes. Taking a seat near her, you appreciate the beauty of the forest and spend time thinking lovingly of your daughter. After some time, she tires of running about and bringing you pretty things. You pick the exhausted girl up, and the two of you return home. That's nice. Okay, that did increase our affection a little bit, I think. I think it was at 4 before. Your daughter needs food too, and you've just run out. You need to find something to feed her soon, or she'll surely starve. Spend the day gathering nutritious substrate. You can't spare the time today, she'll have to go hungry. No, we're not gonna have her go hungry. We're gonna spend the day gathering nutritious substrate. You spend the day foraging and digging in the woods, and return with a heap of mushroom food for your hungry daughter. It's a little hard to be sure, but it seems like she's thankful for your efforts. The decision being made, life continued. You realize that you've finished all your work for the week and have the whole day free. Let's see, we can clean up, teach some lessons, go see the witch, or go on a scenic hike. You know what, let's spend some time cleaning up. We want to give our daughter a good environment to grow up in. Things have gotten a lot messier since you became a parent. Your house could use some sprucing up. After spending the whole day cleaning, it's actually a little nicer in here. The decision being made, life continues. An end? One night, you find yourself struggling to sleep. Your mind wanders as you consider your current place in life. You've lived peacefully with your daughter for many moons. Initially, it was strange. Well, it never stopped being strange, but you were always thankful for the company. Besides, the affection you felt for her was like any parent would feel toward their child. That was normal, at least. Your thoughts turned to the concept of time, particularly how you were once alone, and how you were afraid that you will be again someday. Oh, and how you are afraid that you will be again someday. Your daughter has had more and more curiosities about the outside world. It's only a matter of time before she wants to strike her own path. You hope you will be fulfilled now. You hope you've done enough. Ultimately, you find comfort in what you've done. You may have had many failures in your life, but there's one thing you know you can die proud of. Gain trait very fluffy, and a new beginning. Oh, so this is, I guess, from the mushrooms side of things. Telling the recluse that you wanted to see more of the world wasn't an easy conversation. As they grew older, you worried about leaving them on their own. Thankfully, your concerns were unwarranted. They were happy that you had grown enough to want to move out. They even offered to help you build your own home close to theirs. You were welcome to visit any time, obviously. Faster than you would have anticipated, the two of you built your home together. They showed you all of the tricks they knew and made sure you impart as much knowledge as they possibly could. Finally, the day arrived. You were officially on your own. You were scared a little, but also excited. It felt like a new chapter was just beginning for you. Gain trait loving parent. Cool. Aw, an elegant orange tuft. Aw, look how cute she is. Oh, and we got the Proud Parent achievement. Despite some initial uncertainty, you find that your new home may even be nicer than the recluse's shack. Oh, this is different. We've got new stats now. Okay, so it's not just raising our daughter. Now we, I guess, play as the daughter. Yeah, so we've got now dampness, mycelium, robustness, potency, and humanity. Let's see. Oh, and we're very fluffy. You are covered in pillowy, soft tufts, lush and comfy. Dampness. Increased by a good soak or by a melancholic moment. This stat indicates how wet and slimy her body is, but also a murkiness of the soul. So we want dampness to be low if we want a friendly mushroom. Mycelium. Increased by the right nutrients or by things that nourish the soul. This stat is associated with how generally healthy she is, and yet it could also be a persistent optimism. So we want high mycelium, for this run at least. Robustness. Increased by the ideal growing conditions or by a loving presence. This stat is associated with her physical strength, but could also be a strength of character. So our robustness is kinda low. We should try and get some more robustness. Potency. Increased by a titillating meal or by titillating danger. This stat is tied to the strength of her mushroom type or her ability to perform in stressful situations. Okay. And humanity. Increased by thorough socialization or by doing the right thing. This stat is how good of a person she is, literally and metaphorically. Okay, those are her shroomy qualities. Cards and tokens. What's this? Nope. Don't like an event, use one of these cards and you can be on your way back home in no time. Okay, cards represent the choices you have to make in life. Though you won't be able to use special cards in every event, they will automatically be dealt to you in appropriate situations. Be careful, most card types are limited. When they're out, unless you can find a way to gain more. Okay, so we have one veto for an event that we don't want to do. And wealth, we've got $3. Everything in this world comes for a price. Use these to purchase goods or otherwise improve your circumstances. Tokens represent expendable resources. If you can stack these on the corners of some specific cards to bend the odds in your favor, use them wisely or not. Okay. About me. We're a young adult. You've grown into a young woman unexpectedly. And people don't think much about us. And family matters. Okay, so yeah, so we've got the mystic bond with the witch. And the loving parent. Because the recluse will always live in your heart, and for the time being, next door. Okay, cool. Alright. Your first days living outside of your parents' home are occasionally daunting, but also filled with possibility. What would you like to do? Okay, so this is where the real game begins. We can visit home, I guess. We can go to the woods, go on an expedition, go to town, go to the countryside. Or free wander. I'm not sure what that means. I'm also not sure what these are for. Rest for the day, allowing your body a chance to heal. Okay, I don't think we need to do that yet. Oh, that'll increase our robustness. Okay. And take the day to visit the recluse will increase our mycelium. Or maybe lower our mycelium? I'm not sure. However, our robustness is pretty low. So I feel like we should maybe take this time to rest and increase our robustness a bit. This will take a full day to rest, yes. Perhaps the best way to spend the day, you decide, would be resting. You wearily lay yourself right back into bed. Tomorrow you'll be more productive, or maybe you won't. Okay, so that got us 10 robustness. Okay, so now we know how much that'll actually do. One evening, you witness a strange occurrence as you approach your home. A pair of humans are huddled in a nearby bush, watching your house intently. Okay, maybe a good thing that we increased our robustness then, if this is going to be a not great encounter. Eyes locked on the strange abode, they don't notice your approach. It appears they are here to spy on you. You, in turn, find a wooded spot nearby to sit and observe the pair. They don't appear to be armed, but carry large oblong packs and travel gear. How strange. After several minutes of observation, you consider what to do about the humans. Let's see, walk up and greet them, or wait for them to leave. Okay, so that would be using our nope card. I don't think we want to use our nope quite yet. So walking up and greet them will affect our humanity, it would seem. So let's do that. What do we roll? Oh, that's a pass. Okay, cool. So I think that's a D10 or a D12? I don't remember what die that is. I think that's a D... I think that's a D10. Yes, that's a D10. The D12 is a hedron of some kind. Finally deciding they don't pose a threat, you casually walk toward the hiding spot, calling out a friendly greeting as you approach. They turn to you, wide-eyed in amazement. "It really is here," one yelps. "She actually speaks," the other chimes in excitedly. "They look like academics, field researchers." Still confused, you inquire what it is exactly they want from you, which leaves them at a bit of a loss. "To, see you, I suppose. We wanted to..." The second researcher interrupts, "to see the legendary mushroom creature of the witchy woods." The two explain to you that they seek out unexplainable events concerning unknown creatures, and simply look into the matter. How curious. Oh, is that going to increase our, how much people know about us? "We really should be heading out," one says nervously. "It is said the Witch of the Woods kills any human who wanders the woods at night." You wave them away uncertainly, considering the creatures that they spoke of, yet undiscovered, unique encounters. It's strangely fascinating. With the unusual experience still occupying your thoughts, you retire for the day. Okay, so has that affected... Okay, so that didn't actually affect our humanity at all. And we're still in relative obscurity. Okay. I wonder if it would have changed if we had rolled higher. One day, you notice a strange intruder wandering around near your home. An elderly man sporting an unkempt beard filled with crumbs. When he spots you, a lopsided grin fills his face. "Well, ain't you something?" The man lifts his hat off his head briefly in greeting. "Everyone's been talking about the fungal woman of the woods. That must be you." You suppose you've never met another mushroom girl now that you think about it, but it does feel a little odd to be singled out as such. The man continues speaking. "I was just hoping to meet you, that's all, and I wanted to give you something." He reaches into a shabby pack at his side and pulls out a bound book. Its appearance is humble, yet it carries a certain weight to it. This here is an almanac, containing every tidbit of mycological knowledge I've ever learned. Oh, so I guess this is how we're going to keep track of, which mushrooms we've unlocked, and how to unlock them, probably. So the Mushipedia. How are we gonna... I don't know what the point of this page is, but... So this brings up that. Endings discovered. Number of living daughters, number of fallen daughters, total... So there's 64 different endings. Okay. So I guess we don't have any endings so far. Daughters grown. Yeah, we're still on our first one. Chroma collection. Oh, so this is the colors that we can find. Oh, I guess we could overwrite the game color. This is pretty glaring, but I guess it's fine for now. We'll go with a different color next time. This is some text, yeah. Oh yeah, so these are the various colors that we can unlock. There's 11 different colors. Oh, and then I guess we can unlock music as we play through, I suppose. So what does the Mushipedia do? I guess we don't have anything in the Mushipedia yet. Because I guess we have to maybe complete runs before we can get things in the Mushipedia? Right. I've been working on this for a long time. Could even say it's my life's work, I guess. They grow up so fast, don't they? He looks down at the book in his hands with a surprising tenderness. Then, he's holding the book out to you. But there's always more lives to live. Ain't that just how the soul cycle goes? Maybe you'll be able to help me fill in some gaps. There's still lots to see out there. You take the object and carefully pull it open. Truth be told, you've never been much one for handling books, but within you find hundreds of illustrations depicting different mushrooms in a variety of colors. It's beautiful. By the time you look up, the old man is already walking away. He waves a hand at you and calls out a simple, "Be good now." How odd. But you do like his gift at least. There's a knock on your door. When you go to answer it, you see a man dressed in an elegant black suit. "Are you the fungal woman of the woods?" he asks, as though seeing you in the mushy flesh was not enough. "My employer wishes to invite you to a small dinner gathering. She's heard much about you, and thinks her guests would relish the chance to actually be acquainted with you." You stand there, slightly in shock, as the man proceeds to outline the details of the event. When you should arrive, what sort of clothing you should wear. Oh, do you wear clothing? I'll have to double check the dress code, etc. Finally, after handing you a small scrap of paper with elegant writing on it and bidding you adieu, the man leaves your doorstep. You think about the event that's been described to you and ultimately come to a decision. Okay, attend the event and simply be yourself, or you have learned to not meddle in the affairs of humans. Well, we are going glowy mushroom route, and I still don't want to use my note card quite yet. I'm really hoping that they're not going to try and eat me. That would be unfortunate. So let's attend the event. You figure, why not? If they would like to meet you, you should be kind enough to allow that. On the day of the event, you gather yourself. You have nerves, of course, but that's only natural. You make your way to the party. When you arrive, you see dozens of people dressed in monocles and other strange clothing items that don't seem to serve any practical purpose. They're all sitting at a long rectangular table, spotted with food dishes that you couldn't even begin to guess the identity of. A woman eventually greets you with an excited shriek. "Oh, you are just darling! Butler, please fetch a drink for our guest and have her seated." You figure this is the host, and thank her for your invitation. She moves to sit next to you at the large table, and ends up keeping you company for the rest of the night. What did we roll? Oh, that's a pass. Cool. Over the course of the evening, she introduces you to everyone around the table. They all seem charmed by you, even if most of them are a little monastic. By the end of the party, you had met a variety of humans that you doubt you'll remember the name of. Oh, that boosted our mycelium stat. But you had fun doing it, and they'll certainly remember you. Oh, we're now sorta reputable. Hopefully that means people won't try to eat us, or maybe it'll mean people will try to eat us more. While walking down a heavily wooded path, you notice a disheveled woman slumped mournfully against the base of a tree. She bears numerous scratches and light wounds, as well as peculiarly coal-black lips. That's not good. Her clothes are torn and dirty, but despite this, you can tell they were once quite expensive. Curiosity piqued, you approach the woman, asking if she needs help with something. The woman grimaces, shaking her head. "Nothing can be done for me. I have been sentenced to death." As she speaks, you notice her tongue is stained, as if she had been licking ink. You can't help but feel intrigued, so you insist. What does she mean? "A few weeks ago, I was walking through these woods when I witnessed the most beautiful woman I had ever known, picking flowers alone. I am ashamed to say I was so taken by her stunning looks that I followed the woman, aiming to at least ask her name. I discovered far too late, however, that it was no woman, but the Witch of the Woods herself." Your eyes widen. Few humans would even speak of the witch. To follow her into the forest is regarded as, well, a death sentence. I know not if it was a punishment or fulfillment of my unspoken request, but upon my approach, she twisted around and met me with a terrifyingly intense kiss. When I came around again, I bore a terrible curse. She visibly trembles, pulling at the tattered ends of her elegant dress. Solid cobbles seem to shift under my feet, and steady tools writhe like snakes in my grasp, conspiring to be dropped. I have been doomed to fail at all things. I've lost my work, my coin, and cannot even prepare food or forage without injuring myself. It has reached the point where I can do nothing but sit here and await. She trails off, pursing her black lips. Again, the doomed lady falls against the tree. Staring blankly, it's apparent that she has utterly lost her will to go on. A cursed kiss from the Witch of the Woods. How unexpected. Ask her to give the curse to you with a kiss. Decline to interfere in the witch's business. Tell her to pursue a romance with the witch. Well, I don't want to take the curse on myself. So, you know what? Look, she's dying already. Why not YOLO? Let's support their Yuri romance. Tell her to pursue a romance with the witch. The lady is clearly missing the most important part here. The witch is totally into her. You tell her that the curse is a mark of affection, a black rose bequeathed to her beloved. Hey, and we pass, too. The ways in which witches court is beyond our understanding, and might even seem painful at times. She considers for a moment, her face reddening. You really think she loves me that much? You nod enthusiastically. Who is more qualified to make guesses at the witch's intentions than you? With renewed resolve, the woman gathers the last of her things and departs into the woods. As she disappears between the trees, clutching a bright red rose in her hands, she resembles a sacrifice being made to the woods. You do hope the witch treats her kindly after all. Oh hey, we got more potent and we got more mycelium. Awesome! That means we didn't do a bad thing. You feel a crisp breeze. The heat is relenting. Trees are changing in color. Fall has arrived. The change in weather has invigorated you. What would you like to do today? Okay, where are we at here? So we are still very fluffy. We are incredibly optimistic and healthy. We're becoming more potent, and we're fairly robust, and also pretty human. Have we acquired anything else? We're sort of reputable. You've been a good person. Cool. Okay. And that's really all we got right now. What would we like to do? You know, we haven't visited home for a while. Hovering over these things doesn't actually give us any hints. These are the only things that imply something to do. Now, this one says we take the day to visit the recluse. So I'm guessing that home implies our home, not the recluse's home. You know, we have gotten kind of friendly with the villagers. Let's go to town. Let's go and see how things are doing out there. Strolling through the nearby village one day, you pass through a rundown area you've never seen before. There doesn't seem to be very many people in the area if you're going off sound. The only thing you can hear is someone grunting? Walking around, you follow what sounds like fighting. Eventually, you come before a ramshackle home sitting between two collapsed properties. And in the center of a circle, where the remains of one of the houses has been cleared, you see a strange woman hitting a wooden pole with smaller wooden poles sticking out of it. She's attacking it with short, swift movements, as though she was practicing for real combat. You can't help but stare at her. She's very intriguing. Her hair is short and black as the night. Only the slightest piece of ponytail can be tied back. Oh, so is she like a martial artist and who's practicing? Her physique is unlike anything you've seen before. Even though she wears a heavy suit, complete with popped collar, you can tell she's incredibly muscular underneath. You'd hate to be on her bad side. Are we gonna get a buff girlfriend? I hope we get a buff girlfriend. Spotting you staring at her, she stops her routine, sizing you up with a glance. You here to cause trouble? Well, you can't say you've heard worse introductions before. Offering a shrug, you tell the woman that you're just walking about. The woman's expression seemingly refuses to change from a pensiveness that borders on anger. Good, she says, before returning to the wooden pole. They sure are some rude people, you figure. You turn to leave the rude lady behind, But as you do so, you hear a soft, um, excuse me, are you... Looking over your shoulder, you realize a small child snuck up on you. Are you that mushy lady from the woods? Crouching down to eye level with the child, you smile, offering a hearty, "Yep, that's me." And while you can't see them, the rude lady has stopped her routine, walking over. "Everything all right?" the lady says from behind you, nearly causing you to jump. You stand up to face them as the child assures her. "Mm-hmm. Look who I found, Auntie Maz. The lady my friends were talking about." Darting your gaze between the two, we're into an ad break. So we'll continue this right after the break. So stick around and we'll be back for more mushy goodness. And we're back. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. I guess it unloads the game screen when you minimize it. That's interesting. Okay, yeah, so let's continue with our encounter with this buff lady. Darting your gaze between the two, you feel a bit too in the spotlight. You're just hoping this rude lady isn't looking to pick a fight with you. Auntie Maz? Or I'm that popular? Hmm. I don't know. The crown is what's throwing me off of this one. Because, like, I don't want our mushroom lady to become full of herself. Let's inquire about Auntie Maz. Is there a difference? No, okay, this doesn't, neither of these affect a stat, so. Yeah, let's learn about the cute buff lady, who is also rude. It's just a nickname, the lady says. One only the child can call me. Mm-hmm. The child nods excitedly. Auntie Maz is really cool and tough, and she helps look after me. Well then, the lady says, extending her hand in greeting. You don't seem like trouble, unlike most of the folks that come wandering around here. Folks call me the Master, a title I seem to have earned over time. Are we gonna get martial arts training? Auntie Maz is the strongest, the child triumphantly claims. She can beat up anybody, and she keeps me safe. Interesting. A master in the flesh, huh? It might be worth seeing if you can learn a thing or two from them. Ask for training, ask to learn of some special moves. You can't just go outright and ask to learn special moves. No, we're gonna see if we can get some training. Did we get it? Hey, alright, that's a 9. Out of 10. Okay, so we did really well that time. Seemingly charmed by your tenacity, the master agrees to some light sparring with you. The combat is intimidating for you, but you bear it well, and are able to refine your techniques in the moment. Oh, our robustness and potency went up. Okay, cool. I was thinking it would lower our robustness from, sparring. By the time you're done, you feel more powerful than before, and thank the master for her teaching. As you make way to leave, the child calls out, Be sure to visit us again, right, Auntie Maz? The master smiles and nods, waving you goodbye. We made a friend! That's nice. I like that. A man wearing vibrant, multicolored robes and a large pack approaches your home. He's heard rumors of a beautiful fungal woman and has come to paint you. He asks if you will give him the honor of being the first to put your beauty on the canvas. Are we a woman now? We're still a young adult. Refuse, you're not so vain as to want art made of you. Accept the artist's request to allow him to paint you. Convince the artist to teach you instead. That's tempting. But again, we're gonna do all of the sparkly mushroom. So since we have a sparkly mushroom option, we're going to let him paint us. What'd we get? Hey, success! Alright. We're getting really lucky here, I feel. After a few hours of modeling for the man, he finishes his work and turns the canvas to show you. He's painted you relaxing among a bed of clouds. He's chosen colors and brush methods that give the whole piece a soft, relaxing sensation. You later receive a letter telling you that the painting was sold to the church of a prominent religion. Interesting. Oh, we got the muse trait and now we're reputable. What is that gonna mean? Oh, and our mycelium went up a little bit too. Cool. So what's the muse mean? You have posed for an artist and found it more than suits you. And you have consistently been a good person. Okay, cool. That's what we want. We want her to be a good person. Having taken a leisurely stroll one day, you set upon a humble shack nestled among dense brush across the nearby river. And from the hovel bounds a symphony of music reverberating off of the trees. With curiosity grabbing hold, you saunter off the beaten path, making your way to the water's edge. To your surprise, a ramshackle bridge extends across the water, and before you know it, you're face to face with the shack's rotting door. So you knock on the door, or nope out of there. No, we're intrigued by the music. Let's check things out. Only a coward would nope away from some cool music. You rap your knuckles on the door. After a moment, a slight shuffling can be heard from inside. At length, the door opens, and you are greeted to the bewildered expression of a rather strange-looking crone. The figure is tall and looming, hunched over with a head still a solid foot above your own. A hood veils their eyes, and where it would expose the skin, there travels only matted whiskers long since grayed. You notice their skin as the crone raises a hand in greeting, gnarled and dark like the knot of a tree. Oh, is this a different witch? And as they speak, hoarsely churning out a polite hello, you catch the subtlest torrent of voices intermingled from within, like an amalgam of souls. It has been a long while since a visitor graced my doorstep. Would you like to come inside? Surely you have been drawn by the music, no? You can't say no. You really are captivated by the music. Without delay, you take the crone up on their offer and enter their home. They seem nice enough, but you get the feeling that all the apprehension built up before has melted away. Plus, the interior smells like fresh jasmine. What better way to de-stress? The crone shows you the source of the music, a strange box at the far end of the room. As they're showing you the piece, the music stops, and the crone hits a small switch, shutting down the mechanisms. This here is a phonograph, used for playing music off these cylinders. Oh, okay, so this is how we get the music cylinders, which we saw in the almanac earlier. The crone fiddles with the machine, taking off a black wax cylinder. This one is part of a suite, the finale. The crone hangs their head low. Unfortunately, the rest of the suite is lost to me. The crone pauses for a moment, looks you up and down, and says, "Ah, but you have a draw to the music, eh?" It's hard to tell, but you believe a smile to have cracked somewhere beyond the mass of whiskers. If that's the case, you seem able enough. I'll tell you what, if you're able to collect the other 9 parts of the suite, I'll give you the finale as a gift. One cannot enjoy a suite without the full collection. You shrug. The offer seems straightforward enough. Without reluctance, you accept, much to the crone's satisfaction. Then I would ask to read you a story, one that might help glean the location of another cylinder. Would you be interested? Okay, so this is side quest stuff. It is, however, quite the long story, should you wish to do other things. And we could listen to the story, or decline the offer. We're not going to use our nope here. We're going to listen to the cool story. Ah, yes. The crone stoops in place across from you, resting on what you assume to be their haunches. As they open the book, you feel enraptured, engrossed, enthralled. Before you know it, the words blend into a dappling of synesthesia that seemingly spirits you away to the land of story. As with many, this tale began in tragedy. An errant child, the kid, was exiled from town, branded with heresy and derision. Oh, is this a thing that we're going to be doing? Like a mini quest? Okay, we have no inventory right now, and it's 7 o'clock. She bore no sin but that of her birth, specifically the eyes, smoldering pools of ceaseless violet. They were the same eyes as the Violet Witch, a malefactor who had been terrorizing the area for years. And as such, the kid was left with only a lone heart to look out for her, a similar soul, lonesome and lorn in the depths of the woods. But she was raised good, and raised well, and whilst she never truly needed the approval of others, it was still a wish of hers to be more accepted. Oh, I wonder if this is the story of the recluse. To be seen as less of an outsider. She did, at the very least, have a modicum of peace in her parents' home. Okay, no, so it's not. But peace was ill-becoming of the time, and ever-fleeting. Despite the love and care bestowed upon her by her guardian, she could not stay. Fire came in the night. At first it was deemed an accident, happenstance, but the attacks became emboldened, frequent, turning from 1 or 2 individuals into small mobs, each time led by a sightless man, as if to taunt. As long as the Violet Witch roamed the land, the kid would know no sanctuary. She could only bring pain to those who would offer her comfort. And so, after a heated argument with her guardian, she forced herself to leave, lest they be caught up in the madness. The kid set off without preparation, carrying with her only a smolder of conviction. Nevertheless, she was savvy, complete with a few well-honed skills needed for survival. It wasn't long before she was well away from home, out beyond the threshold where the familiar woods fell away to shadowy hinterlands. Though according to rumors of the Violet Witch, her manse would be less than a day's travel southwest. And as it were, there were 3 ways to go about heading there. The Galder's Highway, which the kid had been taking, dilapidated as it was, the old-growth forest, as unwelcoming as it seemed, or the gentle riverbank. Okay, so we can continue on the highway, cut through the old growth, or follow the river, which is the poison option. We're not going to do that. You know what? I like the flowers here. Let's cut through the old growth. The endless canopy snuffed out any remaining light that was left to be found in the night's steady embrace. In spots, the trees grew in rows, as though meticulously planted. Other areas, the trees sprouted with wild abandon, cropping up wherever they pleased. But regardless, all trees towered as megaliths, altars to a forgotten time. The kid made her way through the harrowing woods, and as she saw the light of the manse appear just beyond, a glint caught her eye. There, buried in the trunk of a moss-covered tree, a knife stuck out, and from where its blade cut into the bark, opalescent buds sprung forth. The kid, needing supplies, wrenched the blade from its resting place and hooked it firmly about her waist. Oh, we got a budding knife. What does that mean? A nondescript weathered kriss, glittering buds grow from the hilt. Cool. With just a few more steps, the woods were behind her, and the kid could enter the manse. Though she thought for a moment, there was still enough twilight to search around nearby. Of course, it may not be worth it. I need a drink. Okay, so we can search the highway, search the river, continue to the manse. I don't like the look of this lonely mushroom, and we're not going to go poison mushroom. So I think we should just continue onward. The Violet Witch's manse was regal, though disheveled. It didn't appear as though anyone had been home for some time, even if there was a distinct lack of dust on the surfaces. Very little furniture decorated the vaulted foyer. Exits on either side led to the library and the dining hall, while a spiraling staircase led into darkness overhead. Let's see, we can examine or travel. Let's examine. Welcome sign, potted plant, grandfather clock, chandelier, suspicious corner, or never mind. I'm curious why there's a welcome sign. Let's check that out. A flat board made of cork sat on the wall with little ceramic letters backed by pins pushed into the facade. It read, Live, Laugh, Spellcraft. Rearrange the letters or leave it be. Let's rearrange the letters. Why not? With a little creative tinkering, the kid changed the sign to read, Ugh, all lifesteal. Let's examine. We already examined the welcome sign. Let's check out the plant. A pitiful, wilted thing. The kid's first thought upon seeing such a sad remark was to believe it to be desiccated. Perhaps he was right. Examine or travel. Let's examine some more. Let's check out the grandfather clock. Why not? An ancient clockwork soldier, tirelessly carrying on its duty without complaint. Something sinister emanated from it, and the kid felt a tinge of fear as the hands neared midnight. Wait until midnight, skip to end. No, let's continue to explore. Let's check out the chandelier. An intricate crystal chandelier hung down from overhead. Its tether disappeared into the darkness of the vaulted ceiling, but its light shone down in a flood. Yeah, let's check the suspicious corner. A portrait of the lady of the house hung menacingly in the corner of the room. Taller and wider than a full-grown adult, her eyes pierced into the kid's soul. It would be rude to cut up the painting. We're not going to do anything. And I think that was the last thing to examine, so we're going to travel. Let's see, library, dining hall, upstairs, or cancel. Let's check out the library. A vibrant carpet and luscious scarlet drapes helped to pull together a warm, rich environment within the hardwood library. The room stretched up far above, concealing into darkness just beyond a mezzanine. What's that? Return to the foyer? No, we're going to examine, let's see, table and chair, bookshelf, curtains, mezzanine, or nothing. Okay. So there's 4 things for us to look at here, I think. Or 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4. Let's check out the table and chair. A comfortable table and chair, a comfortable table and chair duo tucked into the corner of the library. Mostly cast in shadow, it was hard for the kid to discern anything of note. Bookshelf? Along the majority of the library's wall ran a magnificent bookcase. As it were, several books stood out notably to the kid. Let's see, read the first book, second book, third book, fourth book. I don't like that one. That one, I'm not sure of. We know that the flamey fire thing is to, like, get stronger, I guess, or at least that's what it did when we, met Auntie Maz. Let's read the third book. The third book the kid set aside ended up being a cookbook of all things. The legends note one recipe in particular that had caught her eye: mashed mushroom mustard, supposedly quite savory. Okay, let's read the other ones then, I guess. The legends say that the first book the kid had set aside was a political satire on the salacious rumors of some ancient kingdom's arrogant new king in his new, less-than-visible attire. Ah, the Emperor's new clothes. Second book? The second book the kid set aside chronicled an ancient ritual wherein an icy queen untethered herself in a moment of desperation, falling into an endless slumber. Allegedly, the queen's frigid embrace can be felt on the wind atop the tallest mountain, where the one who loved her most still stands guard. That's sad. What's the last book? The fourth book the kid set aside was something called the Apotheoquatus. I've heard of apotheostasis, but I don't know what apotheoquatus is. A dense, deceptively heavy, and ornately designed tome. Flipping it to a random page, the kid found a rough sketching of 3 swords. A platinum sword made to bend to the user's will, a silver sword made to reflect the user's will, and a golden sword made to judge the user's will. Apparently, the golden sword was considered to be all but lost to the world. And yet, studying the image, the kid couldn't help but feel as though the blade was closer than one would think, though putting too much thought into it began to drive her nauseous, and she eschewed the matter from her mind. Oh, I wonder if it's the knife that we picked up. Okay, we already checked them all. Let's check out the curtains. Blood-red curtains hung from on high, obscuring a gigantic window. Oh, we got a new trait. The kid, taking her knife, slashed out a piece of fabric, fashioning it into a cape. Legend says she looked quite stylish. That seems very rude. To just chop off a piece of the curtain? Let's see the mezzanine. Far above, Far above, though before the shadows restricted her vision, the kid could spy a mezzanine. The library had a very clear second floor that was inaccessible from the first. Okay, is that it? Yeah, that's it. Okay. Okay, so we got a cool cape. A cape fashioned out of the library's draperies, absolutely fashionable and durable. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the dining hall. The dining hall was modest and cozy, though elaborate enough to default it as a place of sophisticated living. Tall windows lined the wall, looking out into an inky night, offering views for every seat along the extended table traveling the length of the room. On the wall, a portrait of a woman sat crooked, and around the corner, a hearth sat blazing beneath the bust of a stuffed boar. In the shadowy corner, a door led surreptitiously into the kitchen. Let's examine the portrait. A tender portrait of a veiled woman cradling a silent, staring baby hung crooked on the wall. The kid felt unnerved. The babe had her eyes. Oh, so maybe we are the witch's daughter. Let's check the hearth. A roaring fire heated the room efficiently, though beyond the flames there appeared to be a key. I wonder if we can get some water from the kitchen or something. Let's check out the boar. The taxidermied bust of a massive black-bristled boar hung on the wall of the dining room. Its tusks looked ferocious enough to pierce steel plates, if not something stronger. The table is the last thing. You know, according to outside accounts of the kid's story, they say the table was made of real mahogany. Real mahogany. Do you have any idea how hard it is to source that stuff around here? I mean, what do we have? Fur? Well, regardless, it was quite fancy, especially for a witch who appeared lacking in the dinner guest department. Okay, let's travel. Kitchen, foyer, so we're going to go into the kitchen. The kid entered the kitchen and found little of interest. Random cutlery and the lingering smell of stale grease littered the room. An oven attached to some counters, along with the rear side of the hearth, crowded along the far side of the room near a door leading into the pantry. Check the oven. A standard brick oven, slightly ostentatious and certainly oversized. It didn't seem like anything had been cooked in there for some time. The countertops. A slate countertop littered with cutlery. The kid couldn't glean anything of note. Rear side of the hearth? The kid looked into the hearth and realized there was a key dropped in there, resting behind the flames. Oh, we got the key, cool. All she had to do was pluck the key out and she had access to the pantry. Okay, cool, so we could do that from this side. Okay, so we've done all that. Let's travel. Oh, no, I didn't want to go to the dining hall. Go to the kitchen. Travel to the pantry. The pantry was dark, cool, and musty. Larger than expected for the size of the manse, it nestled unsettling thoughts into the kid's mind. Let's check the rotten food. A disgusting pile of rotting food that made the kid feel sick. There was no telling how long it had been sitting there. Oh, is the witch dead? Well, no, because there's a fire in the hearth. Unless it's a magic fire, maybe. Oh, no, I already checked the food. Don't want to do that. Let's check the note. A small, bloodied piece of paper that maddeningly detailed a particular book within the library, but for whatever reason, it did not explain why. Regardless, it piqued the kid's interest. She would have to check the shelves for the tome. Okay. A particularly savvy-looking rat. A large, rotund rat sat in the center of the pantry, watching the kid. Hey, yous look like a thrifty sort. How about's an exchange, eh? You scratch my back, I scratch yours, capiche? Find me some cheese, yeah? This food ain't no good for nobody, no how. Get me a little of the goods, though. I'm liable to talk. The kid blinked at the rat before continuing on her rummaging. After all, who has time to speak with shifty, not to mention magical, vermin? Is there anything else to check here? What happens if I check the rotten food again? Okay, so there's no cheese there. Okay, so we return to the kitchen. We need to go back to the library now. foyer. Go to the library. The heavy chime of the grandfather clock declared the time is 10 o'clock. A vibrant carpet and luscious drapes helped pull together a warm, rich environment within the hardwood library. Right, and then the rest we've already done. Examine the bookshelf. Let's see. Read the secret book. Here we go. The kid opened the book, expecting to find some boring scrap of information, but instead was greeted with a hollowed-out center. Oh, we got the bedroom key, and within that center, a key. Oh, so we actually are on a clock. Okay, let's return to the foyer. Right. So we didn't slash the painting. Maybe I should slash the painting? I don't know, I feel like that's a bad thing. Let's go upstairs now, because we have the bedroom key. The kid found themselves in a, might I say, dramatically lit hallway. We're talking candelabras, stained glass, the works. The hallway only led two ways, downstairs back to the foyer, and into the manse's bedroom at the opposite end. Is there anything we can, oh, we can check out a portrait. The kid studied the portrait in the hallway. It was of a familiar-looking woman, caught frozen in an expression of surprise, as though she had not expected acknowledgement. Okay, I guess let's go to the bedroom. The kid, finally finding the bedroom, had to take in the strangely intimate feeling of her surroundings. The room was quite enviable. One way led to a personal lavatory, the other way to the library's mezzanine. With the only other way out back into the hallway, the kid couldn't help but take a gander around. Let's check out the wardrobe. A large hardwood wardrobe sat with handles just waiting for the kid's fingers to grasp. And within, she found a marvelous cane, tipped in iron with the effigy of a hawk. Oh, we got the man's cane. While blunt, it still posed a significant method of damage when swung. Let's check out the vanity. A beautifully simplistic vanity sat in the corner of the room. Inside, a diary belonging to the lady of the house sat opened, reading, "I fear to have fallen into thraldom. I mustn't forget the code to the altar. Mine own faith feels faint of late. I pray this omen ne'er to afflict my sweet child." Oh, so maybe the witch was actually cursed. Remember it. Remember the code, you tired wretch. Epic low, for the sake of thy daughter. Okay, we've got a passcode here. It's odd, but the kid wondered if there might be more information yet to be found in the diary. We already checked the wardrobe. We already checked the vanity. Can we check the vanity again? Unfortunately, the only information she was able to find was vague. When I am in need of direction, I must remember. Search deep within, and perhaps an answer will arise. I must always remember my faith, mine own altar hidden within. Oh, I wonder if it's behind the painting. The kid considered this passage, wondering more about the lady of the house. Perhaps if she could simply see the lady, she would find answers. Interestingly, the kid found there to be a distinctly lucid passage ripped out and folded up in the back of the diary. Let's read it. The kid scanned the passage, meeting with a particular confusion. On the one hand, she couldn't understand what any of it meant, but on the other hand, a part of her deep inside felt like it did. The note read, "I can feel the overtake approaching, but for the evening my senses have returned to me. I should be so blessed as to have this moment, that I might confess mine own distrust before this vexing curse takes me whole. I thought myself to be the whole of it, when we three were one, that the call of judgment to infatuate and subjugate the errant sword arm was mine and my alone." Oh, were the three swords turned into women? And we are one of them? Maybe we are the golden sword. But I sit here, festering, silvering, accepting death as it may come to be, and I realize the burden lay not in my heart, and I am as much beast as him, trapped in her cage, a slave not only to this curse, but to myself. Find purchase, my daughter, in knowing you are not calved from a monster, but simply a fool. Okay, let's check out the bed. A majestic four-poster bed took up prominent space within the bedroom. When the kid searched it, however, she found a magnificent longsword hidden beneath the covers. Age had certainly gripped the blade, but it could still swing at least once. Oh, we got Lady's longsword. The icon on the hilt resembled an eye held tightly shut. Okay. A conspicuously well-preserved wedge of cheese. Hey! Admittedly, the kid was forced to do a double take. There, on the nightstand, kept in perfect condition under a heavy glass lid, was a spectacular wedge of cheese. Perhaps she thought the manse had belonged to a tyromancer. Or a bored hobbyist. Regardless, the kid took the cheese because, quite frankly, she couldn't think of a reason not to. I mean, could you? Yeah, actually several? No, I guess I couldn't. Exactly. I don't think there's a person alive who could resist free, perfectly aged cheese like that. Anyway, the kid took it in her grubby little fingers and kept it safely on her person. Alright, what else do we got here? An armor stand in the corner. A mannequin in the corner of the room sported a peculiar attire. Armor, though ceremonial, as if meant to slip over regal clothing. A fold made of mirrored plates matched an oversized necklace of similar styling, while a set of gauntlets completed the fashion. As the kid donned the armor, she could feel a warding effect create a paling around them. On some level, despite the ornamental nature of it, she felt far more protected than before. Cool, we got armor now. We're getting quite a bit of stuff here. I think we've examined everything. So before we explore the bedroom more, I think we should go back and go to the rat. Hopefully we'll have enough time. Because this is taking quite a bit of time to travel around. Okay, the pantry's dark. Let's talk to the rat. Okay. Hey, is that some cheddar? How about you hand over a scratch? We lost our cheese. Alright. Now here's a piece of advice for you. Get out of town before the clock strikes 12, capiche? After that, it's bad times in the biz. And don't get too enamored by that clock in the foyer. Before you know it, hours will pass by. Before the kid could say anything, the rat scurried off. What a pal. Okay, well that's not super helpful. We just wasted a whole bunch of time. Okay, yeah, go to dining hall. Go to foyer. Okay, so it doesn't actually let us leave. The heavy chime of the grandfather clock declared it's 11. Oh, maybe I should have cut up the painting. You know what? We're gonna do that. Yeah, the portrait. Let's cut up the painting. The kid thrust her knife into the subjectively derivative piece of art and rent the canvas away from the wall. To her surprise, a fortified door with a magical seal prevented passage laid just beyond. Upon further inspection, the seal seemed to unlock with a spoken password. The kid leaned forward, plainly speaking epiclo, before standing back to watch the wall recede and the room behind become exposed. Okay, no, that's not what we want. Oh, that's the history. That's not what we want. Never mind. Secret passage. Here we go. We haven't explored the bathroom or the mezzanine, but I feel we're running out of time, and I feel this is where we need to go. Behind the hidden passageway, the kid wandered through a brief, dark tunnel before emerging at an intimate stone chapel ending in an occult altar. A statue depicting the lady of the house stood in the corner on a dais, and pews lined the length of the nave. Examine the pews. A set of 6 hardwood pews that lined the way to the altar. Each looked immaculate and unblemished, save for one near the front. A singular seat had long been worn away. Let's check the statue. The kid marveled at a 10-foot-high statue upon a raised dais depicting the lady of the house. Legends say that the statue wore a ceremonial set of armor and branded a longsword in her left hand, a magnificent kris in the other. And despite being made of naught but stone, it is said that the eyes glittered, as though gems forever caught in the glint of moonlight. We have a longsword, decorative armor, and a kris. Let's check out the altar. The kid marveled at the stone altar depicting a babe resting on a bed of dried moonflowers, but was unable to make heads or tails of its significance. Oh, we don't have what we need. We should have checked out the mezzanine. Yep. Travel to the bedroom. Travel. Let's check out the bathroom first. The inside of the lavatory was fascinating to the kid. Lazuli walls coated every inch, and ornate tiling in blues and whites accented the rest. Let's check out the toilet. It wasn't much, a magical toilet. Any and all have seen one of those in their lifetimes. Why do your business in a hole in the backyard when magic can do all the transporting for you? What if we flush the toilet? The kid flushed the toilet. Magically, the water was whisked away, and in a similar fashion it was refilled into the bowl. Truly a marvel of magical science. Okay, let's check out the cabinet. A basic wooden cabinet sat at the end of the lavatory opposite the toilet. Inside it held only one item, a single roll of extra toilet paper. Naturally, the kid took it. Creating mischief in the realm of one's most vulnerable activities brought a delight to her that was rarely matched. Alright, we got toilet paper. Plus, toilet paper is a remarkably flammable substance, and the kid understood that well. I think that's everything. Yeah, never mind. Return to the bedroom. Let's travel to the mezzanine. The library's mezzanine felt decadent to the kid. Immaculate carvings made up the banister, and intricate candelabras effused a sanguine light between the stunted shelves. A magnificent window at the far end of the room was covered by blood-red curtains, trailing far below to the ground floor. A fall from there would have caused grave injury to the kid. The kid perused the shelves, finding a number of tomes that struck her fancy. Let's see, we got 3 books. Let's check them out. The first book the kid set aside lamented the journey of a lone knight spirit. One who, even after death, continued to stand guard beside a frozen queen who was the only one to have claimed his heart. Oh, so this is the matching book to the one that was downstairs. The second book the kid set aside poured over fantastic detail about how best to host a dinner party when one's guests are beings from upper and outer planes of existence. As it turned out, the key was an excessive stockpile of horseradish and a can-do attitude. I'll keep that in mind. Book 3. The third book the kid set aside laid out the steps to reforging the might and magic of a longsword. That was, a blade in which the power had been lost when the one who remembered it passed on. The restorative ritual relied on several key items. An effigy of the faith once belonging to the weapon, a knife with the power of rebirth to draw and drip the new faithful's blood upon the effigy, and the weapon in question itself. There was, however, a catch. The ritual could only be done atop an altar of the weapon's faith. To exhume a faith as such, without first taking the steps needed to show one's respect, was tantamount to blasphemy. Okay, now we know what to do. I don't know if we have enough time, though. I think we might be screwed. Going to see the rat might have cost us here. Go to the foyer. In the foyer, very little furniture, yeah. Secret passage. The heavy chime of the grandfather struck grave and proud. The time was midnight, and a haunted memory cried anguish from the foyer. Behind the hidden passageway, the kid wandered through a brief, dark tunnel before emerging at an intimate stone chapel, yada. A statue depicting the lady. We might be able to get away with this because we are at the altar already. The pews, the statue, the altar. The kid marveled at the stone altar depicting a babe, but had to accept... Wait, what do you mean not having the necessary items? She remembered the items the book called for. An effigy of the faith. What were we supposed to have? What was the effigy of the faith? Don't tell me it's the fucking cheese. Because we have the longsword, we have the armor, we have the cane, we have the knife. A knife with the power of rebirth, such as the budding quality of her knife. And finally, the dormant sword itself in need of reforging. Clearly, the sword she had found in the lady's bed was the one in question. Yes, if she could only bring these items together, then she would be able to create a weapon for herself that may protect her from the evils of the world. Okay, I guess that means we're... Okay, what did we miss? I was pretty sure we checked out everything. What was the effigy? Oh, how about the statue? Is the statue the effigy? The kid marveled at a 10-foot-high statue. Yeah, legends say blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we don't have the effigy. What is... I wonder if it was the cheese. Yeah. There's nothing that we could do. In the foyer, the kid felt a horrid chill on the air. Suddenly, she came face to face with a shade of the manse's matron. Though a formidable opponent, it was nothing more than the poor witch's memories made manifest. There was no time to think. The shade saw the kid as an intruder and intended to make the consequences known. But the kid had no intention of going down without a fight. The kid thought briefly about what to use against the shade, pulling out her swanky cane, her budding knife, or the lady's longsword. Well, the longsword only has a single hit left in it. I guess we might as well use it. The kid swung the great longsword, once belonging to the Lady of the Manse. The shade reeled back at the slice, screaming in pain. The kid smirked, but as she looked back at the blade, she saw it crumble and break. Its eyes catching the ridiculous rearrangement of the welcome sign, the shade stood for a moment in confusion. All right, we got a stun. The kid wasn't about to let the opportunity pass her by. Okay, we've got the cane and we got the knife. Let's try the cane. The kid swung the silver eagle head into the shade, eliciting pain from the creature. The shade initiated its share of the combat by reaching high and striking down with an incredible claw attack. The passion of the fight had been ignited. The dance was afoot. The kid thought briefly about what to use. The knife. We have 11 health left. The kid stabbed the shade with her budding knife, searing it with magic and eliciting pain from the creature. The shade hissed, whipping a miserable claw at the kid, connecting somewhat. There was no other path left to the kid. Only fate could scry the outcome. The kid thought briefly about what to use. Okay, so we have 10 HP left and they're at half health, so I guess we have to keep using the knife because it's the strongest weapon we have here. Okay. The shade shrieked as loud as it could, damaging the very psyche of the kid. Even battered and bruised, there was no stopping the kid from her quest, her conviction. I have a feeling that this is still not going to be the good ending, which probably would have been by assembling all the bits and doing the ritual. The kid thought briefly about what to use. Yeah, we gotta use the knife. The kid stabbed the shade with her budding knife, searing it with magic. Becoming tired yet desperate, the shade let out another hideous shriek, building up the energy for a devastating blow. Unwavering, the kid grew incensed off her peril. Okay, we're gonna keep using our knife. Yeah. The shade shrieked and moaned as the magic comprising it flittered away. All that was left in that mess was the kid. The kid and a bounty of unanswered questions. The only thing left as a clue for her was a small precious stone fragment left behind by the shade. And as the kid scooped it in her palm, the fragment warmed and glittered a bright green before fading at length into slumber. Regardless, the kid understood it was only the beginning of her journey. Oh, we got an achievement. Complete the tragedy of the kid. Yeah, I wish I had found whatever the item was. It's gotta have... Like, the only thing I can think of is that it had to be the cheese. Because we looked everywhere and picked up everything. And such was the kid forced to come to terms with many a disquieting thought upon that return trip. Dozens of woes, a litany of sorrows, but only one truth that struck her. Perhaps those who rallied against her, in fact, did so with cause. The kid would return victorious indeed, but some believed her to have gone on further, to do many a great deed. Alas, that is all for now. Time has slipped away from us, it seems. We'd best hurry on home now before the dark settles. The crone leans in, uncomfortably close. You wouldn't want to run into the Violet Witch now, would you? She asks with a cackle. Taking her advice, you return home, head filled with thoughts of the kid. Oh, we got a new song. And 2 wax cylinders. Acheron who wails. And a different Acheron who wails. Okay? A chilling breeze greets you one morning, heralding the approach of winter. With the end of the year approaching, you find yourself considering your aspirations. You want to accomplish something significant, you decide. Something you'll remember. Let's see, take on a dangerous quest. Attend a charming event, a charming evening at the gala. Or don't do anything. Well, we are not super robust or potent. So I don't know if a dangerous quest is the best idea. I think a charming evening at the gala would be a better option. Recently, you've garnered enough attention in the area to be invited to a high-class event. This could be an opportunity to celebrate the year or invite someone you wish to grow closer with. Attend alone, invite the person who raised you, or don't go to the gala. I was hoping that we'd be able to invite Auntie Maz. But no, yeah, we'll invite the recluse. Maybe they'll... I know that they're a recluse, but still. You know that the recluse is not a fan of crowds, however the thought of attending the gala with them appeals to you. Besides, you couldn't imagine a better person to laugh at normal humans with. The gala isn't until the end of the year. That should be plenty of time to pay the recluse a visit. The chill in the air has invigorated you. What would you like to do today? Well, what do you know? Oh, we've got an achievement to revisit, or not an achievement, an unlock to revisit a strange location. So I wonder if that means that we can go and talk to the crone again. But yes, we're going to take the day to visit the recluse. The recluse, as always, is more than happy to see you. The two of you spend several long hours reminiscing about your childhood, as well as preparing a meal to share. In the end, you leave well fed. Maybe you'll just have to visit again tomorrow. Oh, that gave us more mycelium. Wait, what about telling her about the gala? Wasn't that the point of us visiting? One day, without realizing it, you stayed in the village much later than intended. The sun has fully set and darkness has enveloped all. Thankfully, you are fully capable of taking care of yourself. You know the settlement well, and the lack of sun does not change that. You decide to take a shortcut through an alley, but to your surprise, there are others there as well. Quite a few others, in fact. It quickly becomes apparent to you that most of the alley's denizens are going into a single door, one that, when open, allows you to hear faint sounds of revelry and triumph from within. Okay, so it's just a tavern, I guess. When they go to leave, many have small trinkets and seem tired from a long night of cheering. Steal from one of these easy marks? No, that's mean. Enter the door, or mind your own business. No, we're gonna enter the door, I guess. Because we're not gonna use our note card. But we're definitely not stealing from people. Oh, it's a boxing ring. After a while of spying, you get the impression that people are free to enter. Your people, basically, so you figure it's safe to investigate further. As you step inside, the roar of the crowd grows in volume and clarity. It takes your eyes a second to adjust to the dim light. You move past a few tables full of merchant goods into a large room full of people. At the center of it all is an arena, topped with a fighting ring. The ring is currently in use, as two combatants circle each other. One fighter is a man in a crude grasshopper mask, constructed out of dyed linen and leaves. He moves with a quick, staggered step, often feinting at his opponent. His opponent, a tall figure largely obscured by a dark cloak, counters nimbly, keeping low. You watch as the grasshopper man grabs the cloak, using it to pull his opponent around the ring. You find yourself drawn toward the crowd. The mood of the fight is simply intoxicating. Before you know it, you're whooping and hollering with the rest. Finally, in a thrilling conclusion, the caped fighter manages to subdue the crude grasshopper. They triumphantly suplex the masked man to the joy of the crowd. Though initially slightly concerned for the man's health, you find that both fighters have support immediately afterwards. Slowly, the crowd begins to dissipate. What a thrilling event! As you go to leave, a chubby woman wearing an elaborately decorated pair of glasses stops you. I've never seen anyone quite like you before, love. If you ever want to fight, come back here anytime. I think we could help you be something spectacular. You accept a scrap of paper the woman hands you. On it lists her name and where to find her. Oh, our mycelium and our potency went up. That makes us stronger. Maybe we should work on our robustness. I hope we can go and see Auntie Maz again. After giving her a quick farewell, you dash back home with much to consider. Does that actually give us a thing? No, we don't have a card or a trait. Alright. While wandering the woods, you always do your best to remain vigilant to possible outside entities that you could run into. Certain animals are keen to cause problems for you, and that's not even to mention the humans. It's with this awareness that you detect a nearby being. You pause, listening to the soft sound of footsteps. Human footsteps, you suspect, or at least something vaguely human in shape. Finally, you can spot the intruder. A realization floods over you. The recluse. Yeah, we're gonna rush over to greet them. You've not been by to visit them recently, so you consider this something of a fortunate encounter. Chores and your parent, all in one outing. Without any further hesitation, you rush over and wrap your arms around them in a greeting. Thankfully, they had time to see you coming. Phosphor, they exclaim, returning the hug. What a coincidence seeing you here. The two of you swap greetings, and you can't help but to pry about what they're up to. Growing up, you always felt like they were doing something interesting, so why not now? Your theory is proven correct. The recluse goes on to explain. As you discover, they have a bit of a deal with the leader of the nearby village. In exchange for dealing with grisly situations that the villagers could never stomach themselves, the recluse gets to live in the unincorporated land near the village without having to concern themselves with the minutiae of civilization. No surveys, no taxes, just what exactly is the favor they're doing again? There have been some concerns among local parents, they explain. Some hooligans have been trying to kidnap children recently. It's a big problem. Hooligans? Shouldn't the local guardians be dealing with such things and not the recluse? Well, these hooligans are a bit rowdier than most. They live in the river, you see. Most of the guard can't be bothered to dirty their boots in such an undignified way. Oh, so it's some kind of supernatural creature. But we will get back to that as soon as the ad break ends, so stick around and we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, let's continue. A hint of bitterness snuck into their voice, a rare piece of insight into their thoughts. Before long, you can hear running water. The river approaches. That is to say, you approach the river. Finally, you and the recluse stand before the water. They nod, then speak. We should be close to their base. These dang kidnapping hooligans. Good thing our potency went up. We can punch him in the face. What'd we get? Oh, we failed. This observation is proven correct when the sound of raucous laughter seems to bubble up from the water. The recluse drops their pack to the ground and pulls off their overclothes. They retrieve a hatchet from their bag, then turn to walk toward the water. Oh, I really hope that this doesn't result in the recluse dying. Because that will mean we also fail our event. Wait, a hatchet? What do they need that for? Wait, a hatchet? What are they planning to do? You have no choice but to anxiously stand there in horror as the recluse dives into the water. Without looking away, your eyes find themselves fixed on the surface of the water. In the same way you had just heard laughter, you now hear screams. The water turns funny colors, but only for a moment. The current washes away all evidence, inevitably. Finally, the recluse emerges. They take a big breath and grin at you. The matter has been resolved. Giving you a hearty pat on the shoulder as they pass, the recluse returns the hatchet to their pack. You notice they also seem to be putting something else away. It appears to be something small and shiny. They almost look like pieces of a shell. Oh, I bet it was Kappa's. Before parting paths, the recluse gives you a big wet hug. They seem fine. You still find yourself feeling unsettled at the events you just witnessed. Oh, that increased our dampness, and we lost our very fluffy. That's a bummer. Oh well, hopefully you won't ever think about it again. I don't like that. I want it to be fluffy. You're covered in soft tufts. Comfy. Okay, so I guess because we got damper, we stopped being very fluffy, and now we're just fluffy. We're still reputable, though. Oh well, hopefully you won't ever think about it again. So I guess the increase in dampness was the consequence of failing. On one particularly desolate evening, you decide to take a walk around the outskirts of town. You find yourself overcome with an unaccountably uneasy feeling as you pass by an abandoned neighborhood, the dying amber light casting menacing shadows. As you enter a dilapidated gatehouse, protruding bits of ruin and decaying wood conspire in your periphery, forming unnerving figures. Something skulks among them. Finally, you spot the thing. Your body tenses with alarm as you distinguish a smooth and gray-brown object in a half-formed approximation of human shape. A statue of a woman, propelled by unknown means, shambles forward and locks its gaze on you. Oh, is it a gargoyle? A set of glowing purple features overlays the stony mask of its face, hovering lines forming a mouth and eyes. You don't know why, but looking at the creature fills you with dismay and revulsion. Her glowing image of a mouth cycles through different shapes as an unpleasant whirring emanates from her head. She emits a strange, buzzing voice. Is this one a daughter of the witch? You nod stiffly, bewildered. This one is a preferred subject. I will commence a necessary experiment to determine if this form is fit for consummation. This thing means you great harm. You feel it to your core. Turn tail and run. Attack. Tell her you are not a daughter of the witch. Well, we're doing brightness. So, let's run. Success? Yeah, there we go. Without pausing for thought, you turn on your heels and dash away from the ruins. Her heavy footfalls accompany your own as she follows. She's much faster than you expect, but you manage a desperate sprint toward the nearby tree line where you hope to lose her. Weaving into the trees, you slow your pace as you notice she doesn't follow. Stopped at the forest's edge, she merely stands and watches you flee. Something grinds and hisses in her head as her ethereal face twists into a mask of hateful dissatisfaction. Oh, our potency went up. Eventually, you make your way home, feeling far less secure after the frightful encounter. I'm pretty sure potency is our strength. What's this? Potency. Yeah, tied to the strength of her mushroom type or her ability to perform in stressful situations. Okay, so... okay, I need to increase robustness as well. One afternoon, while sitting at home, you realize something. Today is the day of the town's year-end gala. This was something you've been anticipating. You were thrilled when your parent agreed to join you. They must be on their way now. Okay, so because we did visit them at some point, it did allow us to invite them. Chapter 4, The Recluse's Big Night Out. Ooh, we've moved chapters. Oh, so we're back to being on the Recluse. Okay. And it looks like our stats are the same as they were at the start. So that hasn't changed. When your daughter had suddenly suggested that you attend a large social function in town, you were a little torn. You know that you had to do it. You knew that you had to do it, in the same sense you would have to do any silly little thing she asks, because she is your child and you love her. But this? Simply put, you're unsure where she gets her taste for such things. It's surely not from you. As the sun approaches its zenith, you knew you would be arriving at her home any moment. Then the two of you could share the walk to town. Though you are regularly forced to make brief visits to the village, you do your best to avoid the hustle and bustle of the more populated areas. Tonight would be an exception. Yeah, like she can do one night. It's not like she's gonna live with them. Finally, you could see a dot of orange in the distance. Phosphor. Greet her with a hug. A nice pat on the shoulder will do? No, we're gonna greet her with a hug. What kind of parent do you think we are? As she approaches, you rush up and greet her with a tight hug. The two of you decide to begin the long walk to the location of the gala. The most direct path has you passing through the village, a walk that the two of you have taken together quite often. This evening, the town is lively. Many seem to be making preparations for the gala, and you find that your daughter's attention has been thoroughly captured by someone selling floral accessories. You'll find our corsages are the finest in all the land, the salesman claims. You find yourself dubious, but Phosphor has a sparkle in her eye. Buy it for her. Flowers, you can gather these yourself. Or the girl is already organic, she doesn't need flowers. No, we are a doting parent, and we have a ton of money with us. So we're gonna buy it. We literally have not spent any money in, like, years, so... yeah, we'll buy it. Ah, what the hell. The girl so rarely seeks out material goods, you feel as though she deserves a little treat. Oh wow, that cost like almost half of our finances. Still, worth it. You take the coins from your purse, and much to her surprise, purchase one of the flowered bracelets. Without further ado, you slip it onto her arm. Thankfully, it's a natural fit. The salesman thanks you, and you and your daughter continue the trek. With the matter settled, the two of you finished your comfortable walk to the estate that the gala was held at. Oh, we don't have access to our info menu anymore, so we can't see the details of what we're at. You find yourself thinking about this event. It's one that you have heard about for many years, yet you've never felt the urge to learn more. As the large building enters your sight, you can't help but think that you'd still rather avoid it. Alas, it was out of your hands. Thankfully, your daughter looked pleased enough for the both of you. Perhaps it was the spectacle. Just seeing all of these people around, donning fancy clothes and smug looks. Maybe she didn't notice those. Or maybe they were all in your head. Before you can dwell any longer, Phosphor grabs your hand and drags you in. Oh, we got a new song. Cool. As you enter, your senses are overwhelmed with all of the things that humans do at events like this. Musicians in the corner, chirping away on their instruments, the wafting aroma of food and drink, far fancier than you are used to. A wonderland of human creation, by humans, for humans. Sometimes you feel as though you don't fit into that category, or that you must not if you don't enjoy such things. But for now, you overlook the man-made chaos. You and Phosphor wander the gala for a while, familiarizing yourself with the locale. Finally, after getting a good look at everything, you find yourself tiring. You sit at a table, and Phosphor sits beside you. While sitting, you and your daughter can't help but overhear some concerning nearby chatter. It would appear that a dance-off is to take place. Unfortunately, a dance-off does not seem to refer to turning dancing off. Evidently, it's some manner of intense tournament where the last dancer left standing wins. You can see the gears in Phosphor's head spinning. She wants to participate in the contest, no doubt. But you're not sure you can do it. Dance off, or I don't feel particularly competitive. Come on, let's fucking dance. No, 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 no. You cannot believe you have reared a child that desires not only to dance, but to dance in a competition with you. You also cannot believe that you want to do it for her, despite your many concerns. The panic fills your head and chest, and you do your best to push it away. You try to repeat the mantra, "It's for her," which helps. You stand, casually dusting your shoulders off, and tell her you are prepared. When you arrive at the dance floor, you are surprised by the number of participants. Possibly 2 score people stand before you. And you were supposed to dance for longer than any of them? Gulp. The judge of the contest stands tall, wearing a colorful scarf to distinguish them from the crowd. Oh, we got a new song. Gala Groove. The rules are simple. The last duo dancing wins. Now let's hear it for the band. As they finish speaking, the band leaps to life. Loud, melodic music fills the dance floor as the participants begin to dance. Now all that's left is to dance. Cut the rug. Yeah, it's gonna cost stamina. You aren't as spry as you once were. Beads of sweat start to form on your forehead. Dance like no one's watching. Stamina ? That's not good. As you put your left foot in and your right foot out, you find the heat you feel in your brain overwhelming. For just a moment, everything goes numb. Then you realize you are looking up from the floor. Phosphor's eyes are full of concern, that which barely dissipates as you sit upright. All around you, dancers continue to dance. The bubble around you and Phosphor is small, barely enough to prevent your limbs from being danced over or on. Nevertheless, the show goes on, you suppose. You stand, dusting yourself off. The pain you feel as a result of your dancing comes as a surprise. You'd have to take it easy tomorrow. Though the girl is clearly a little disappointed, she doesn't seem to blame you for your body's failings. Perhaps you're not as young as you used to be. She helps you up, and the two of you return home. Chapter 3, again. Okay, so we're back to being our mushroomy self. Getting back early was something you had realistically expected, which you think helps avoid disappointment. At least you knew the recluse made it back safely. That's good. I'm glad. And then we got to share something with them, even if it didn't go exactly as we wanted it to. But that's life, isn't it? As you grow older, you look back over your life. You think back to the witch who created you, and can't help but wonder if everything met her expectations. You wonder if you were the daughter your parent had hoped for. Oh, we got an ending. After all this time. 2 roads diverged in a mushy wood. Oh, complete the game for the first time. Cool. Well done on a daughter well raised. So well done, in fact, I think you are deserving of a reward. I can't offer much, but perhaps you would like some spores. There are many uses for these spores, for those that know where to spend them. Visit my hut when you are ready to learn more. For now, let's remember the child. An elegant orange tuft. First things first, let's measure what her life was worth. Okay. New music bonus, 100 spores times 3 is 300 spores. Cool. I assume that spores give us extra starting bonuses that we can apply to our stats. New color bonus, 50 spores times 1. Stat bonus. Oh, and we get a bonus for unused cards and tokens, too. We did not achieve any miscellaneous achievements, though. Oh, so even dampness counts toward our bonus here. So we got 116 spores for our stats. New ending bonus after all this time. Plus 100 spores plus big jar of coins. Neat. First grown bonus, 150 spores plus pretty spores. Cool, for getting a tuft thing. In total, that's 716 spores. Okay. But we didn't really achieve anything of note, which is sad. I was expecting it to go a little longer. Yeah, after all this time, you've grown up. Okay, so this one was the almanac. What is this here? Oh, so the tuft is a 2-star mushroom. So there's 1-star mushrooms, no star mushrooms, and 3-star mushrooms that we haven't even gotten to. Okay, cool. And it seems there are a lot of types. So of the 2-star mushrooms, there are 10, I guess? Alright, let's check out the hut. Growing a daughter is so rewarding, isn't it? You get love, obviously, and to see her grow, but perhaps most importantly, you also get spores. It could be said that spores keep the circle of life flowing. They are gifted after a daughter is fully formed, and spent to help ensure the success of future daughters. But I'm sure you'll find plenty of things to use your hard-earned winnings on. More impressive lives generate more substantial spore counts, so do try your best as a parent, for her and for you. You'll find my hut has many amenities. You may spend your spores at the summoning circle, or you may improve your base conditions at the garden. I will explain further when next we speak. Okay, so we've got a garden, a cabinet, and a summon. What's in the cabinet? What items do we have here? Growables. Do we have any growables? No. Spores? Oh, pretty spores. These will grow a pretty bud. Okay, so I guess maybe does that guarantee we'll get a pretty type? Or items. Which I think the jar of coins was an item. Yeah, big jar of coins. Oh man, this is heavy. Does that give me just a whole bunch of money or something? Curios. We do not have any curios. Notes. We have no notes. Achievements. Well, we got one, I guess. We've gotten a couple of achievements. Events. Oh, okay, so we get different events from having done various things. We've seen 20 of 119. And backgrounds. We only got... Oh, we've gotten a few, yeah, okay. We have 34 out of 183, I guess. Okay, so what does the summons do? This summoning circle is a little project of mine, you could say. I've filled it with treats of all kinds. Gardening supplies, colors you've never imagined, even a piece of music or two. Really, there's too much to mention. Why don't you just give it a try? Your first taste is free. Oh, so this gives us random shit, I guess. Oh, note number 2, okay. A note. I think the recluse wrote this. I got a rather tiny notice posted on my door today. I guess a new fairy ring cropped up nearby, and with it came a... Fakoa? I'm not familiar with fairy-based hierarchical structure, but apparently I need to trim my grass. Okay. Oh, and then we can spend spores to get more random shit. Okay. So I don't know if I want to do that. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? Doesn't that crispness on the air make you feel like part of this world? Embrace that feeling and tend this patch of earth to your preference. When raising a daughter, the time passes so quick. You will find this garden to be a bit more evergreen. Spores will spread over time, growing stronger, evolving. Be sure to check in often. You'll find the rest of this world reflects what is here in this plot of land. Different plants may yield unexpected results in your everyday life. Just be sure to deal with any weeds that may crop up, or the girl may suffer unduly. You already have some basic supplies to get started. Spores filled with potential, Gardening equipment. That should help with the debris, at least. Okay, that's a stump, and that's stone. Your next daughter will have stats like this. Okay, so... humanity, robustness, mycelium. Okay. So we only have one... shovel. Let's get rid of the stone, I guess. How do we get more shovels? Oh, I guess maybe we get those from the summoning circle. Maybe. Okay, so we could plant the pretty spores. If we wanted to get a pretty one for our next summon. I don't necessarily want to, though. Let's check out our items. Don't we have, I thought we had the jar of things. Or is it because we unchecked it? Wait, where did our, jar go? Oh, no, that's the growables. Here we go. Do we have to... if we do that... no? Okay, do we have to undo that? Okay, no, that's just like that. I guess that's not something that can be used in the garden. Which I suppose makes sense. Can we just use our spores for things? It doesn't seem like we can use our actual spore points here. Unless we use them on an actual plant, which I guess means we need a growable. What does start a new game mean? Oh, it starts a new game. Okay. That's not what I wanted. Can I go back? Yes, that's fine. Let's summon some stuff. Gradients. Strange dots fill your vision. It feels as though things have a new texture. I don't know what that means. Okay. I guess we'll get some more stuff here. Oh, we got a note. Oh, it's a cute little drawing that the recluse drew. And we got a piece of sheet music. Ode to Another Day. And that's all that we've got. And there's nothing else that we can do in the garden here. We do have some pretty spores, but I don't really want to use them quite yet. Yeah, so we've got half an hour. We can start a new game. Humble Recluse. Okay. So let's... can we... okay. Here. Wait, what were we... I have forgotten what we were looking for. I missed what the request was. Okay. Well, we already did the shiny. So, a barren spot of forest long since struck by some invisible ailment, or your favorite foraging nook. Let's go for the barren spot of forest. Let's go for, let's try and make a really toxic mushroom this time. Okay, what is the history here? What was this? Okay, it is important for a young person to be well-grounded in this world, I hear. Bring me a jar of soil to help with this process. Okay, so the things she asks for are different. I was expecting that it was going to be the same request, but I did not realize it was going to be different. That's my bad. Keep in mind that not all dirt is the same, though. Consider the source carefully. Soil? That did sound somewhat magical, the recluse supposed. Left with this vague prompt, they considered their options. Okay, so, maybe the barren spot of forest wasn't the best choice, but we'll see. Many of the local villagers avoided this section of the forest, a place that was so utterly devoid of life. However, the recluse had no fear, and they knew that by choosing this spot, their daughter wouldn't either. Arriving back at their meeting place, the recluse was excited to share their selection with the witch. So that's what you picked, eh? Very well, it shall do. Feeling the need to scrub their skin, the recluse retired to their hut to cleanse themselves. The second day. The recluse slept more soundly that night than they had in ages. Having a purpose again soothed them, even if they had found themselves caught up with a witch. They elected not to think about that, though. Instead, when the morning came, they simply did what they had to do, which is to say, they got up and went to meet with the witch. Upon watching the recluse's approach, a sardonic smile lit the witch's face. You completed the first task admirably. 2 more, and I can finally give you what you want. She paused for only a moment before delivering her next message of import. Growth struggles to be achieved without presence. Offer me that which embodies the emotion you would provide to your daughter. Okay, that's the same. The recluse pondered for a moment, thinking of what they had to offer. Oh, but the choices are different. A tear-stained portrait, a prized gem fragment, or a deteriorating book of poetry. Okay, well, let's go with sparkly waves. This is what we chose for the first one. So let's choose this one again. A deteriorating book of poetry. Almost shamefully, the recluse located an old book of poetry from when they were young and going through a phase. The prose wasn't good by any standard, but it would nevertheless serve as an excellent expression of angst and youthful rebellion for their daughter. Returning to the witch, the recluse held out their offering. My, I suppose all growth comes at a cost, no? Feeling a tender hollowness, the recluse declined to answer. Third day. Okay. Welcome back, recluse. Are you prepared? Today is your big day, is it not? The last task is an easy one, or at least I believe so. Bring me something colorful, something bright that you think will suit her. Okay, this is the same as before as well, so I'm not entirely sure how random these requests are. When they were told of the 3 tasks, the recluse had imagined things that were much more difficult. This seemed so easy as to be a trick. Which, they supposed, only meant they should take it seriously. As if a mistake could mean death. With death in mind, the recluse needed to decide where to search for color. Well, we already did the Field of Flowers, so let's check out the Stony River. Though underwater wasn't the first place most people thought of for color, the recluse understood there were many shades that people failed to consider. They arrived in a nearby river, glancing into the glassy water to spy a variety of small shining stones. Let's see, turquoise, prized symbol of luck and fortune. Marble, the pale proprietor of possibility. Jasper, nature's deep brown canvas. Slate, a simple yet sturdy gray stone. Brimstone, a yellowed alchemical wonder. Let's go with brimstone. Wait, If we're going toxic, this one seems like the toxic option. Let's go with jasper, nature's deep brown canvas. Reaching into the cool waters, the recluse retrieved what appeared to be a painting of a far-off landscape. With mountains, hills, and valleys, it offered a uniqueness perfect for their daughter. Discovered brown. Ow, this is harder to look at than the orange was. The recluse returned to the witch's hut, colored item in hand. Okay, this is incredibly uncomfortable. There's got to be something I can do about this. Particles are fine. Can we do... no, we don't want high contrast, but we do want to adjust the color here. Is there any way for me to adjust the brightness, maybe? Text speed, text box. Nope, we're stuck with it, I guess. Oh, background, maybe? And that helps a bit. Background color. Sure, I guess. Okay, none of the gradients are of any help. This is really hard to look at, but the black might help, though. Yeah, the recluse returned to the witch's hut, colored item in hand. She silently took the object, nodding her head to the recluse in recognition. The recluse stood there for a moment, unsure, before finally the witch realized what they expected. Oh ho ho, you want your promised daughter, don't you? Her voice was almost mocking, but at least it was not overtly cruel. I suppose I must tell you that I lied, human. I do require several more trifling things from you. First is the matter of payment. The recluse should have known that everything is for a cost. Okay, we could pay now with wealth, or with life, or sometime soon in larger quantities, or at a much later date in the way I choose. Honestly, I feel like paying in wealth is still the best case scenario here. But, you know what? We're going toxic mushroom. Let's pay at a much later date in a way they choose. The recluse told the witch they couldn't repay her, not anytime soon. That is fine. Of course I will collect payment eventually. With the payment settled, the witch simply smiled and handed the recluse a small pot. Humans are tricky, but mushrooms are much more resilient. Consider this an upgrade. Don't worry, eventually she will develop a mind. Simply give her time, as much as she needs. Soon your wish will be in full bloom. I suppose with all that settled, though, there is one last thing for you to consider. A young girl needs a proper name. The recluse thought on the witch's demand before offering the final thing they had to give. This one we'll name Sporia. Our little toxic mushroom. Then she walked away, only fate knowing if the two should ever meet again. Cultivation. Though the recluse was unsure of the specifics, they did realize it was important to heed the instructions, which we're going to skip. Harsh weather has taken its toll on your garden, and your entire harvest has been lost. Oh, that sucks. Weeks' worth of food and labor has been rotted and destroyed. Without immediate action, you and your daughter will be in trouble later down the line. Accept the loss, you can make do. Till the garden again and start over from seed. Yeah, guess we gotta... No use crying over ruined crops. You simply make adjustments to your garden. Oh, that gave us a lot of nutrients, though. There will be less variety this season, but you'll live to see it. That's what matters. The decision being made, life continued. The day's gotten away from you. Already the sun's gentle descent is being swallowed behind the forest's reach. Can we skip this? Yeah. Oh, okay, so this is the same thing. Finish the a favor the village's leader asked of you. Barter for some fine substrates. We don't need any substrate right now. You've already worked hard enough, retired to the tavern. Purchase new construction materials. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Your home has served you well, but only because you ensure that you continue to serve it well. You pay for and take home a variety of materials that you can use to build a better life for your daughter. Your tasks behind you, you and your daughter return home. Each do a nice bath and a simple dinner. Huh? Something's happening. Oh, this already looks like a different kind of mushroom. Yeah. Your daughter is changed in the night. Oh, our mushroom creature doesn't have legs this time. One day you find your daughter has left her pot, and now hops around your home with determination. The creature jumps about with ease, with clear intent now visible on her new face. Her demeanor seems active and brazen, often finding herself engaged in troublesome play. Encourage her boldness, nurture her environment, motivate her to do something safer. Well, we are going toxic, so motivate her to do something safer. Concerned about your daughter's safety, you decide to encourage her. I think that's a little typo there. You decide to encourage her to do something else. You teach her an appreciation for quiet and thoughtful games, giving her less dangerous toys to play with. Over time, she adopts some semblance of discretion and thoughtfulness, finding excitement elsewhere. The decision being made, life continues. One evening, you hear a light knocking at your door, quite a rare occurrence. Peeking through the window, you witness none other than the Witch of the Woods standing on the doorstep of your humble hut. Could she be here for a visit, or to settle a debt? Introduce her, privately request a stipend. We don't need a stipend. Yeah, we'll introduce her. Perhaps it was time for your daughter to meet the witch. She could maybe even learn a thing or two. This is just gonna be the same thing. Yeah. Did she get the bond? She did get the mystic bond, yes. Oh, indebted. Oh, right, because we didn't pay the witch at first, so we are indebted. While sitting at home one day, you hear an unexpected knock at the door. Unfortunately, when you go to answer, you find yourself face to face with a man that you never wish to see again. Though he was older now, the scar running down his cheek was unmistakable. It took me a while to find you this time, recluse. The sound of his voice sends a long-forgotten chill down your spine. This man is your former business partner, from a time when you did work that was less than admirable. I'm sure all this time alone has given you plenty of time to reflect. Are you finally ready to get back to business? Beg the man to leave you alone, give him money to go away, agree to do business with him. We're gonna fucking kill the man. Fuck this guy. Some things will never be over until, well, they're over. You had hoped it wouldn't come to this, yet you feel as though there is no other option. You invite the man in and offer him a seat in your main living area, then excuse yourself to prepare drinks. But unfortunately for him, he will never drink again. Before the man begins to suspect anything is wrong, you take a straight-edged razor and slit his throat from behind. The blood falls like a red sheet down his body. When you look up, you realize that your daughter has been standing there watching this whole time. She doesn't react strongly, but you fear this may leave an impression on her regardless. Oh. It's now a child? Alright, did we get a trait for that? It didn't leave an actual trait, though I think the quality may have gone down a little. Disposition, underdeveloped and bland. But she has an excellent environment. One morning, you notice that your daughter is nowhere to be seen. After an hour of searching the nearby area, you find her standing perfectly still in a dense stand of trees. To your surprise, the creature has now taken the form of a young girl. You feel relieved to confirm that the witch hadn't betrayed you. At your approach, she turns and acknowledges you silently, before continuing to carefully watch her surroundings. Watch her quietly, buy her a gift, tell her it's time to go home. We did want to go toxic, but we also chose, like, sparklies as the initial things. You know what? Let's go full toxic, as toxic as we can go. Tell her it's time to go home. You kneel beside your daughter and offer your hand, telling her it's time to go. She smiles contentedly, and the two of you return home hand in hand. One evening, you discover many footprints outside your home, three-toed and webbed. Some strange creatures have been poking around. You have heard the rivers of these woods are home to nefarious turtle-like creatures that capture human children, only to bring them home and drown them. Ah, the kappas that we killed in the last game. Your child isn't a human, but you can feel the leer of envious eyes from the tree line. They know a precious daughter when they see one. By the looks of the tracks, these ones are quite young. Perhaps you can do something to frighten them away from your home. Deal with the issue decisively, stand guard until they stop, keep your daughter inside in the evenings, hunt one of them, purchase a magic ward. Nope. I know we're going toxic, but I feel like murder is probably more toxic than keeping our daughter indoors. We're gonna just murder those kappas. We were gonna do it anyways, and this will keep them from kidnapping other kids. What a lovely opportunity, you think, grimacing as you rifle through your things and find a number of objects that will serve you well. A netting, some spare poison, and a sword you swore never to see used again. Though if it's to protect your daughter, you don't see any reason not to. Granted, you've never used a sword yourself before, so you tie it to a long haft and fashion a spear out of it. All you have to do now is take your setup to the river. What about our hatchet? Tracking the general area where the little monsters like to reside, you set up the net across the river downstream in an area with heavy brush. Then, at the other end, you pour in the poison. It's a fun game, sticking them with the spear as they frantically try to escape the water, caught up in both brush and net. And by the evening, you have plenty of meals for the foreseeable future. Oh, did we get more nutrients? Though you can't help but notice your daughter's fixation with the new lawn ornaments. Shells on tall wooden skewers. A message to say, get out. That did get us a lot of nutrients, though. The decision being made, life continued. One day, you awake slightly earlier than usual. In your somewhat somnambulant state, you hear an ethereal croon originating from your garden. When you go out, you spot it. A small fairy clad in brown is sitting amongst your crops. Hunt the fairy to use as food. Catch the fairy to sell in town. Build a small fairy garden in your daughter's room using supplies. Offer a coin to the fairy to gain their favor. We don't have a lot of stamina left. We have plenty of nutrients, though. Let's bribe the fairy. The fairy can barely lift the coin, but seems grateful as they sprinkle a small pile of fairy dust for you to collect. You're unsure how to use it, but feel personally better for having it all the same. Is that a... No, that's not a thing. The decision being made, life continued. What is the... They're still underdeveloped and bland. An end? One night you find yourself struggling to sleep. Your mind wanders as you consider your current place in life. You've lived peacefully with your daughter for many moons. Initially it was strange. Well, it never stopped being strange, but you were always thankful for the company. Besides, the affection you felt for her was like any parent would feel toward their child. That was normal, at least. Your thoughts turned to the concept of time, particularly how you were once alone, and how you are afraid that you will be again someday. Your daughter has had more and more curiosities about the outside world. It's only a matter of time before she wants to strike her own path. You hope you will be fulfilled now. You hope you've done enough. Ultimately, you find comfort in what you've done. You may have had many failures in your life, but there's one thing you know you can die proud of. Oh, okay, we got an achievement for raising a daughter with visceral proclivities, which I assume means that she's gonna stab things, maybe. Telling the recluse that you wanted to see more of the world wasn't an easy conversation. As they grew older, you worried about leaving them on their own. Thankfully, your concerns were unwarranted. They were happy that you had grown enough to want to move out. They even offered to help you build your own home close to theirs. You were welcome to visit any time, obviously. Faster than you would have anticipated, the two of you built your home together. They showed you all the tricks they knew and made sure to impart as much knowledge as they possibly could. Finally, the day arrived. You were officially on your own. You were scared a little, but also excited. It felt like a new chapter was just beginning for you. Oh, and we did get the loving parent trait. We didn't actually abandon her properly to make her super toxic. But she is an assertive brown funeral bell. Despite some initial uncertainty, you find that your new home may even be nicer than the recluse's shack. What do we have in terms of things? So we do have fairly high dampness, which is good. That's what we're going for. They're visceral. Something within you is innately compelled to kill. You're unsure why, you find yourself improving each time you do. Cries often, you find it difficult to contain yourself. And doomed! Life rarely works out in your favor. Okay, that's bad. That probably means that our rolls will be low. Let's see, we've got a nope token. A doomed. You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you? Okay, cards represent the choices you have. You won't be able to use special cards in every event. Okay, we have an unknown number of doomed cards, which I guess maybe makes it be a fail, guaranteed. We have 1 wealth. Some number of spores. Okay, empower spells or poison with spores at the cost of your own potency. Interesting. We're young adults, and in relative obscurity. And we do have the Loving Parent and the Mystic Wand. Loving Parent was accidental. Okay, your first days living outside your parents' home are occasionally daunting, but also filled with possibility. What would you like to do? We do want to murder things. So town would be good for that. We don't have a lot of potency, though, or robustness. Let's go on an expedition. The mountains bordering the northern reaches of the forest call to you. You see them every day on your adventures, and there is an overwhelming desire to climb them that simply cannot be ignored. Readying yourself in the early hours of the morning, you glance over the materials you have on hand. Pack light, pack heavy, don't pack, in fact, just don't go. We're going toxic, so let's pack light. We are doomed, though. I don't know what this means. Does that mean we can, like, force it to do something? Oh, okay. Oh, so we can... I'm guessing that using Doom makes it so that we're guaranteed to fail? Let's not doom ourselves quite yet. We did pass. You carefully choose each item based on its weight, size, and usefulness. Your pack sits comfortably on your shoulders and allows for your full range of movement. With your pack all set, you make your way out to the mountain. After a couple hours of climbing, you feel like you've made some decent progress, though you're starting to get a bit tired. Just as you think it's time for a break, you come across a beautiful mountain spring, complete with its own waterfall. Oh, this one's guaranteed to be doomed? Train endurance or take a relaxing shower. Let's train our endurance, even if it's doomed. Yeah. Forever doomed, yeah. You've often heard that waterfalls are powerful. You could use some of that for yourself. After a quick look around to ensure you're alone, you make your way to the waterfall. You know one thing for sure, it's wet. It is also powerful, you suppose. The raging waters around you are rough on your body and mind. You go to grab your pack and realize that your arms feel like wet noodles. Oh, that lowered our mycelium and robustness. You're forced to drag yourself home. Mountains are overrated anyways. And our dampness went up a little. The sun is low in the sky, casting a beautiful warm tint across everything that you see. Today it is a particularly beautiful sight. Blossoming fruit trees and the wind blowing through grass. Your eyes feel heavy, and suddenly you find yourself falling into a deep sleep. In your dreams, you're sitting on a tree branch. There's a flute playing somewhere. Then, suddenly, the flute is next to you. Attached to it is the vague shape of a woman. I haven't seen you around here before. Welcome. Whenever you go to look at her, it feels like she shifts. You can't quite describe her. You probably won't remember me when you wake up, but it's nice to meet you. After sitting in silence for a second, she starts playing again. Where do you go when I'm awake? Sing along. Do what you always do in dreams, kill. Fly or try to memorize the place. Hmm. I am sort of tempted to do murders. Hmm. We are doomed. You know what? Let's see what happens when we click on the doom button. What a quirky woman. It would be a shame if something were to happen to her. Oh, wait. Actually, that would be the highlight of your night. You reach into your pack, feeling around for something suitable. Ah, yes, one of your favorite dream items. With a flourish, you unsheath a sword that's somehow longer than the bag you produce it out of. Ah, how frightening. Her response is understated, something that bothers you more than it should. You point your blade towards her and charge. Much to your chagrin, she simply performs a gravity-defying backflip to dodge your charge. Show off. I guess that's because we doomed ourselves. Better luck next time. She bids you before vanishing into thin air. This is what you get for hunting outside of your territory, you suppose. Dreams are too unpredictable. Oh, our potency and humanity went up, though. Or did our humanity go down? I don't remember. Next time you will have better luck. Okay, now did that use up our doom card? Or, no, we're still doomed. Okay. Walking around the village one day, you overhear a gaggle of fun-sized humans giggling the time away. You gradually sneak up on them and get close. Remarkably close. They don't really seem to care that you're there. Hey, wait, are they ignoring you on purpose? The nerve of some fleshies. At least you can listen in to whatever seems to be so engrossing. How much, one of the children exclaims, her jaw dropped in sheer awe of another kid, whose chest is proudly puffed out. With a grin, the child reiterates, enough to buy 3 bags of candy. No fair, another child cries out. When I lost mine, all she brought me was enough for a hoop and stick. The other kids look at the child with pity. Hoop and stick was so last season. Well, anyway, the boastful kid continued, I have another one loose, so I can expect even more candy here soon. Ah, the tooth fairy. That's not fair. I want to lose a tooth. You're younger than me. What gives? It's probably because of all that candy, one of the kids said, getting met with only a shrug from the proud child as he snacked on his treats. Whatever. I'm gonna go home and pull my tooth out myself. And when you see me next, I'll have 4 bags of candy. The girl stormed off, determined to come into some coin of her own. Which is odd when you think about it. Do these kids get money for their teeth? Do they sell their other parts? You wonder briefly about the value of a kidney when you hear one of the gremlins shout, be sure to put it under your pillow. Aha, you realize, there's a caveat. One must need a tooth, and then store it under their pillow. And then, money? Last you checked, what you'd consider your teeth grew back after some time. This could prove to be a lucrative venture. Are we going to experiment with the Fae? I wonder if the Tooth Fairy is actually a real thing in this world. At length, you arrive home, and find yourself less certain about this than you were in the village. It's not like the fun-sized humans are known for their honesty. You pause a moment and think. One tooth won't kill ya, go for it. Or decide against it. No, we're gonna fucking go for it. Not wanting to put any more time in attempting to convince yourself otherwise, you reach up into your mouth, grab hold of what passes in your body as a tooth. Slowly, steadily, pressure builds as you pull, and then... schnup! A tooth broke off easily, like a bar of chocolate. But oh my psyllium, so much worse. Oh, our robustness and potency went down. Regardless, you are now in the possession of a detached tooth and are eager to see what comes with resting it under your pillow. You snap awake in the middle of the night, your first thought being of what lays beneath your pillow. But when you check, you find nothing. Not even your tooth remains. So you's awake then, eh? A small voice chimes from the center of your room. Glancing over, you spot an ill-tempered fairy and their few companions. Or are we gonna get beat up by the tooth fairy for not having real teeth? See, here's the ting. You's put a tooth under the pillow, all's fine and fair, till that tooth turns out tain't be a tooth. The group of Fae all stare you down. You suspect it's for the best to remain still and listen to the big palooka up front. Now, I'm a reasonable guy. I clock in, I clock out, and I don't want no trouble no how. But the issue here is that the boss lady ain't too keen on these types of shenanigans. Now, I can see you're just an innocent mush lady, and so this ordeal can be overlooked this time. Unfortunately, we ain't able to give back the tooth ears. Company practice, capiche? That's okay, they grow back. Or keep it. Pretty sure that one was rotten anyway. Yeah, I'll say that's okay, they grow back. Well, yes, that's how teeth work. At least once. You got your baby teeth and your adult teeth. But we're going into an ad break, so we'll come back in just a few minutes. Okay, let's continue here. Well, yeah, that's how teeth work. At least once. You got your baby teeth and your adult teeth. No, they just grow back. They what? The fairy appears incredulous, and his companions volley fascinated whispers between themselves. You saying you got a replenishable supply? You shrug. Essentially, you do. It's not particularly pleasant to lose the teeth, but it is technically doable. The fairies all pause for a moment, the gears noticeably turning in their minds. Hey, so, sorry for any unpleasantries earlier. Boss lady just really wanted the message clear, you know? But, she did also have The fairy glances at his companions, with each in turn offering blank stares. Right, she's got a particular taste, it would seem. What did he just say? You know, shaved over some food, it's like a, nice mushroom powder. And you know, if you's got a seemingly infinite supply, the fairy begins fidgeting on his person, and his companions all seem suddenly much more intrigued by your abilities. Here, take this. The fairy pulls an adorably small business card from his pocket, handing it over. You look it over. There are words on the front, and on the back it seems. Is that a number? You're pretty sure that's a number. Though if it is, it's really long. Wow. The fairy in charge catches your confusion, and upon realizing the situation, procures a different card. This one simply has a crude picture of someone kicking multiple mushrooms arranged in a circle. Give us a ring sometime, yeah? The main fairy says. Looking back at the artwork, you can't help but feel like it's a hate crime. But upon looking back up, you realize the fairies have vanished without a trace. Only the lingering smell of bad aftershave and latent face stink remains. Unsatisfied with a lack of reward under your pillow, and annoyed by the usual fairy shenanigans, you attempt to go back to sleep. Maybe you'll check out that Tooth Fairy's deal someday. Until then, however, it's the middle of the night and sleep beckons. Oh, but we got a new trait. With that said, though, sleep does beckon. Here's the proper save. Okay. So we're gonna save there. And I think we're gonna call it there for the night. Okay, it just crashed when I went to exit, so that's fine, I guess. Alright. Yeah, well, I'm having a good time with this. Honestly, I wasn't expecting quite so much reading. Not sure if that's going to be great in the long run after doing Shadowrun on Mondays, but I guess we'll see how my throat holds up. Yeah, that's Mushroom Musume. We will, at the very least, do one more stream for this, possibly more. I don't know how much I want to do on this. I'm not sure how extensive it actually is. So we'll see. Might do a couple more runs. We will probably get through 2 more runs next week. This one and then the next one. And we'll see from there. Yeah. Thursday, we're going to be finishing off Kirby Star Allies, and then no stream on Friday, as I will be otherwise occupied. So, I definitely hope to see you guys on Thursday as we finish off Kirby. And, yeah, then, hope you guys have a good Wednesday, as, no stream like usual. So, yeah, thank you everyone for coming. Very much appreciate having you guys here. If you haven't joined my Discord server, link is down below the stream. I post all of my announcements there in case something comes up, as well as my weekly schedules and stream announcements. Also, any new artwork that I get. There was a new piece that went up just yesterday, so check that out if that's of interest to you. You can also request things if there are any games you want to see me play, or any redeems you want to see added, or even just anything you think would improve the stream. Maybe if there are any like emotes you'd like to see, you can drop those all in the Discord. Yeah, thank you everyone for coming. Very much appreciate having you guys here, and hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you guys on Thursday as we finish up Kirby Star Allies. Hope you all enjoyed, and have a very good night.